And we're back. Welcome back to Change Yourself, Change the World, episode X. Here with the homie Corey and Ahmed again. And we've been going through some experiences, man. Like, shit's crazy outside in the real world, but in our inner world, I think we've all been progressing in whatever way we can, man. We're all making steps. We're all making steps. So the first topic I think I actually do want to discuss with you, and we're discussing it right now, is sober life. I haven't been smoking or taking any THC in the past week. And I don't know if you guys have weed withdrawals. I actually do have weed withdrawals. I notice it. My mood is affected. My appetite is affected. I do have this like lethargy for the first day, where weed would just make that a little bit better. But after that, it's just like, it's whatever. Like, I don't even think about it anymore. I don't have those cravings. I don't have those impulses. And it might be because I was using THC as an excuse, or as a crutch, or as a way to remedy, well, negative feelings, or trying to not deal with something I was trying. I was maybe I was trying to avoid something, and I was using it as an escape to change my state, which is not bad. But if you're always changing your state and you always need this to change your state, it does become an addiction. It does become a necessity, and I can't have something being like that, though, because I don't know, it affects me too much. So I've been sober for about a week, and it's been a trip. I've enjoyed it, and I think I'm gonna keep going. And I'm not saying I'm not gonna take THC anymore or weed anymore, but I just sparingly. I think sparingly would be ideal. What you guys think? I know you guys have been soberish.
Who wants to go first? I'm in.
Yeah, I was just thinking when you were saying that. Yeah, I've been pretty sober too, and it's been pretty long that for me, I haven't done it for 3 months. But if I'm gonna have a social event in a month or so, gonna meet at the bar with the libertarian group, and I'll probably have like a small drink. But for me, I have that. Um, I have a limit now. I have a fixed limit because I know that I don't feel well when I drink too much, and I also have this social limit that I don't um, really frequent the bar that much either. So it, I kind of trust myself around alcohol and marijuana. That I mean, it's not too much of a problem for me now. But yeah, it's really nice that I'm really enjoying how noticing those times during the day where I start feeling a little high, or I start feeling like I am like on a little bit of shrooms or something. And that's those theta waves or something, clicking in when I focus or something. It doesn't happen often, to be honest, but I feel like my brain is kind of coming back to normal. And I think it would be faster if I did a really good dopamine fast and got off all social media and stuff. But yeah, it just makes me think of like what was it like when I was a little kid, and trying to think of that and trying to restore myself back to that. Yeah.
I'll preface and say that Rico can back me on this. I've never really had an alcohol problem, even going to Thailand. Like, man, I remember getting tattooed, and I was like, I forced myself to get a beer when the pain I was in, and I made this guy go give me a beer one time. Alcohol has never been an issue of mine, and I've cultivated a community around me that kind of understands. First of all, I'm a health professional or whatever, coach, and I always said alcohol is not really conducive to my health goals. So that was always my out per se, and I could hang out in environments where people, and most of the time when I'd hang out with people nowadays that drink hard kombucha, you ain't really getting too turned up off a hard kombucha, but you can. Okay, you
Can,
can. I've
bro.
seen it. I've seen it.
I've had that kombucha and pie over there in Thailand, and that shit was euphoric as fuck. It was great.
Oh yeah, but at least you're getting probiotics, but you get hella bloated after drinking all that hard kombucha. That's for damn sure. But I'll say that, I mean, I'm 3 weeks into no cannabis, no caffeine, and I was drinking like a cup of coffee or maybe even 2 per day. I think it's just a mixture of the two. Like, I mean, cannabis has gotten easier and easier because I've always dealt with like the little cold, hot flashes, you know, little changes of my sleep patterns in regards to appetite. It's definitely impacted me in a lot of ways in that aspect. But I come from somebody who also got off of heroin, somebody who's gone off some extreme ends. So like nothing compares to those aches and pains that you get from that type of stuff, in my opinion. Granted, it always feels weird when you don't necessarily like quote unquote have a vice or something anymore, right? But you feel like you get high on your own supply now, and now I'm trying to find ways to get back into my training and, you know, release the same chemicals in my training. But sometimes even that, when your training doesn't help you the same way, it's really interesting. But man, I have had some gnarly dreams. I like getting my REM sleep back. I'll tell you that much, because I do wear an aura ring, like tracks my sleep cycles. And then I can see the patterns of when I was smoking heavily, which is heavy deep sleep. I was getting a lot of gnarly deep sleep and my REM was very minimal. Now I'm starting to get my REM sleep back. I mean, still trying to find a proper pattern, considering I wake my body up at abnormal hours. You know, I'm waking up at 4 a.m. Like the past 2 days, my body naturally woke up at 4 a.m., but I went back to sleep and woke up at like 6:30, and that's sleeping in for me. You know, that's not really natural for most people in this society. That's for damn sure.
Well, yeah. Well, I can wake up at 4 a.m. if I go to sleep at 10. My body just doesn't like to be in bed that long, dude. Like it just it just can't.
I
Like
go to
after
bed at like
7 hours.
7:30, dog, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, well, I'm no, that's too. I'm barely eating dinner at that time. So
See, like, I mean, I break
I
my
know it's
fast
kind
at
of
like
bad.
10 a.m. and last time I'll eat is like 2, 3 in the afternoon, and then I give, yeah.
God
But
damn.
I've kind of, man, I don't know. I make choices and I kind of stick with them, you know, like I like routine. I control the controllables of my life, right? So anything else is out of my control. I mean, fuck, man, it helps me if I can control something.
It's true. And when you said talking about sleep and REM sleep, I'm actually very excited for my dreams to come back, because I know that when I'm any type of THC cannabis in my body, I don't dream. I just don't. Okay, I probably do dream. I just don't remember the dreams. They're never that fucking vivid. But I have a feeling in the next coming week I'm gonna start having some gnarly dreams, and I'm like, yes, this is exactly what I want, because they're fun and they're
Trying to catch
intense
these
and they're
downloads.
good. Bro, I've had gnarly dreams before, but shit, I was gonna say something else, but I kind of forgot. Whatever, who cares?
Do you guys
But
notice?
yeah, man.
Yeah, that's one of the main things I love about uh, men, neurological restoration. That your brain starts emitting all the healthy amounts of all those things that it should be emitting, including DMT. Um, but
That's what I was gonna
what I
say.
was going to ask you guys is, like, lately I've been hearing like ringing sounds, like after I meditate and like before I sleep, and I don't know. I feel like is that like 5G, or is it like wait? Am I hearing the waves
Oh,
in the air or something?
it,
Fuck.
it it could be, but that's the E of DMT that I fucking it brings me back to that fucking state. Like that ringing reminds me of DMT.
Yeah, but he
And, I-
doesn't know. He
and
hasn't
every
been
time
there. He doesn't know. He
he
doesn't
doesn't
get
know, he
it.
doesn't know.
I don't know. I don't know if it's tinnitus.
Well,
But I don't think it's tinnitus. Tinnitus is like constant, like, right? I should be hearing it now.
I had I remember when I was in high school, there was like 2 days where my left ear just went out, and all I heard for 2 days was E, and then it came back. But DMT brought me the same thing, and after I meditated, like when I was doing Shambhavi twice a day and all these other stuff, like I could hear that ringing more constantly, and it's just to me that's source. That I like it. I embrace it. It's not like it stifles my hearing. It's not like I can't hear anything else. It's just there in the
It's
background.
weird. I mean, when the ringing sound, like I remember some shit back in the day when we were teaching in Thailand. Mr. B from Cameroon was like, "Your ears are ringing. Someone's talking about you."
Could be, could maybe just picking up on the waves.
I
But
hear him
yeah,
every day, and
I've
I
been
just thought about how like David Icke would talk about how he had to get away from the city because he would just be meditating or waking up from sleep, and you just see all these rays, and it would just hear all these sounds.
yeah,
And that's why a lot of
yes,
like the like spiritual masters or even like people that just enter samadhi and think like initial levels and stuff. Once you start becoming more sensitive, sensing what's actually around you, you just like so many odors, so many electromagnetic waves, and
yeah,
they're just we're just getting constantly bombarded in the city, and it's just.
constantly bombarded. And yeah, that is one thing that kind of irks me about living in a place with so many
But I
things.
don't know it's anything right
Well,
now though.
man, you
Like
could say it's really interesting. I had a friend who went to Yosemite recently, and usually you don't catch no service in Yosemite. They had full 5G service up in Yosemite. It's just wild
It's
these
them
days.
satellites, bro. They're launching satellites up in the air. Our fucking space is filled with so much crap now. There's so many fucking satellites up in the air, bro. So many, just beaming down shit constantly.
you guys
Like
heard of
everybody's
the?
ready.
There's like a small little asteroid or something in orbit right now around the planet.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a few days ago, but I'm not sure if it like dissolved yet.
Is it fucking up some satellites?
No, I think it was like too tiny, but
Oh, should have fucked up some satellites.
no, that's not good because if that satellite gets fucked up, that'll start a cascade reaction.
That's cool, man.
That's
Like
not cool.
we gotta take down a few of these fucking. We're clever monkeys, but we're hurting ourselves in the process. Just trying to. We're just so fucking clever. We're just destroying ourselves at this point in time. And if we were properly doing these kinds of things, then I would have less problem. If we actually had more foresight and did it with better intentions, then yeah, I think we should go ahead with all these advances. But right now, we're just throwing shit up there and beaming shit down with no regards to anything else other than whatever goals they have stated. And yeah, that's kind of fucked. I ain't about that. I am not about that. But yeah, getting out of the city for sure, dude. That's a big one. And you live in a not so populated place too, bro. Like you're in the middle of nowhere almost.
Yeah, and then it's weird. Like, and then I'll hear it in the morning, and then I'll get up and go outside, and I don't hear it. So it has to be something in the house. It might be like the electrical currents running through the wall, because even electricity, will
Yeah,
give off that.
But
yeah.
do you
Electromagnetic wave.
have like is your bed directly attached to your wall, like, or do you have some space in between it? I've
No,
talked to
I don't.
electricians, and they totally recommend having space in between the wall and your bed because the conduit just shooting right into your head.
Uh, but
So
he's talking
be
about
mindful of
meditation.
that, just in general. But I
Oh,
mean,
okay,
like, I'm just saying, certain
that
things
makes
like
sense.
Yeah, because my head is right up
residue.
on that wall, so I must be right up against the electrical outlet.
Yeah, just you're next to the all those wires that are passing through. You're yeah. So yeah, I honestly sleep right next to the wall. I have a couple inches, and my bed is constantly moving because I have to move it to meditate. So yeah, it's a good idea. Move your bed from the wall and put it directly on it. Smart move. Um,
Yeah, so many of these little things, like Sadhguru had like a couple things this week and he's throwing out some gold. Like the one thing about not exerting too much on the side where you have your heart. For most people, they have their heart on their left side, so don't like throw heavy punches. Like for me, I never thought about that. I just do both sides the same. But yeah. And then today he talked about how um, the what is it called, the sanctity of things, and how you should respect your food, respect spiritual objects of veneration, um, and yeah. So like don't like eat while you're standing up.
right.
Don't point your feet towards um, spiritual objects of veneration, like statue or whatever
Yeah.
thing you're doing.
Anytime you're in a powerful spiritual place, you shouldn't leave. You should cross your legs
Yeah.
just so that energy goes to the right places and not to your lower energy chakras.
How does that work?
Um, if you put your legs open, the energy can go to your first three chakras, the survival chakras. That's what he was saying. And when you start throwing in outside energy into the survival chakras, it can influence your body greatly.
Well, yeah, actually, you can also think of it from the circulatory angle that you're closing off your circulatory system down there. So what's
Hmm.
going to happen? The blood's going to go up.
Right?
Instead, the blood's going to circulate more up in your upper torso.
That's true
That's why
too.
the lotus posture is like really, really important, because you're putting your legs to sleep through that, blocking off circulation up to your knees, and yeah.
Well, yeah, I think sitting. Well, I think chairs are fucking one of the most deadly things that have ever been invented. In my opinion, chairs, like the sitting posture, is they're it's horrible.
Unless you're sitting on a chair cross-legged like I am.
I am too. This is how I do it now. This is exactly what I'm doing. So every time I am on a chair, I do cross my legs. There it is. I am sitting down like in a proper pose. I'm not just having my legs dangling, letting the blood kind of just sit there and pull there. I'm like, no, I'm spiritually practicing while I'm playing video games now. Like this is my intention. Like I might as well, right? I might as well. It's also helped me for meditation because I do have to sit there for like 30, 40 minutes at a time, and it's good when your legs aren't always in pain because you're crossing them. And once you're used to it, once your legs are used to doing all this, once your legs are used to being in that position, it's not that painful. It's just normal. The new normal, my new normal. I can do cross-legged, which is great too because I could never actually cross my legs before, dude. Like my right knee used to be like 8 inches, 10 inches above everything else just because I couldn't bring that thigh down. And yeah, I'm bringing it down now, which is great. So I'm tons of little improvements here and there. And sober life is helping me realize all this stuff, bro. The another reason I needed to take a break from THC, or I had to move away from that, is because I was using it in conjunction, like I was using it with meditation, and meditating and doing practices while you're high is intense. It's great. Visualizations are great. Focus is amazing because you can feel it more. So if you feel it more, you're more interested and more focused on it. But it's also a crutch. Like I can't expect to get 300 milligrams of THC every time before I meditate. No, and like you guys were saying, like I've been having random mini high moments. Like I texted you guys the other day. I'm like, dude, I fucking feel high right now, dude. And I'm sober as hell. And I was just walking outside. I was just going to the liquor store, and I felt high. Not like stoned high, but like I don't know, 200 milligram mushroom high. That's the kind of high I was feeling, and it was great. It my whole attitude just changed. My reaction to things just changed. Like on Thanksgiving, no, whatever, on the Thanksgiving week, they hit my car. It was parked in the street. Someone did some stupid shit, tried to bust a U-turn and fucked the front of my car up. Instead of me getting mad or like altered or anything, what I did was just like, oh shit, that sucks. Can I still drive it? Yeah? Okay, cool. I'm like, it really bothered me nothing. Whereas before, I'm pretty sure I would have been just extra pissed off. Extra pissed off. So,
I can talk on something that I rear-ended somebody the other day, and yeah, I got an insurance claim against me right now, and I
shit.
know did rather well myself too. Her
Oh,
car is perfectly fine. My car's the one that's messed up, but I'm the one who's at fault.
right. Well, that's why you just gotta not get caught.
Yeah, but I totally could have took off if I wanted to, but here I am being a kind person and making sure this woman is okay.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
Did you
Yeah,
guys like? Did she want you to report it, or did you guys solve it out?
So I gave her my insurance card or she took a picture of my card and my insurance, and I get a call 3 days later about insurance claim. So yeah, she said it was all good, everything was gonna be cool, but apparently she went to insurance.
Does your insurance cover that?
It's up to 50,000 medical bills and something else, but here's the thing. Well, I mean, people can turn a mole into a mountain.
Yeah, I would have tried to like just deal with the with her right there on the spot.
There's
Be
a
like,
discrepancy. She doesn't speak English very well. She was an Asian woman.
Ooh, that's
I would have ran off.
I would've read-
Well,
What's
I'm in
what's
that
all your
position
fitness
now.
for?
No.
Man, right. But here's the thing. I've done that in the past. I tried to be a good Samaritan in this case.
Wrong time, man.
I'm sure everything will be all right. Wrong, wrong time.
I'm just being a devil's advocate. Sorry.
Should have been a
But,
dick.
Here I am telling you how I'm dealing with the situation. You guys are just trying to raise my blood, make my blood boil a little
No,
bit more.
I ain't trying to do that. I think
Hey,
it's
you
good
should
that
have
you
did
went.
this.
I think it's good that you the whole thing. I don't think it'll be bad. I mean, insurance is a scam many times, but it does help out in these kinds of cases. And I don't know, people take cars too goddamn seriously. Scuffs and little marks don't mean shit to me. But to each their own, I guess. That kind of sucks though.
Yeah, now I got a bumper that's about to fall off and my check engine light's on. It's glorious.
How hard did
Not
you
to
hit
mention
this
I'm
car,
gonna
bro?
about 10 miles an hour, bro. That's it. She was stopped. I couldn't see because there was a glare in my eyes from the sun. I was taking my dog to the park and there was a car turning left in front of her. Come to think about it, her brake lights weren't even fucking working.
Well, other things to look at, but
wait, that's for you. That's on you then. You got to report that. Then did you put that in your claim?
Nah, it's too late. I didn't realize that till just now.
Oh my God.
I've already made a statement.
So man, you got to talk these things out sometimes.
well, let's hope everything turns out for the best. I don't.
You got to think that like to the same extent I've already been in a negative headspace. Like I'm gonna have to figure out something. I got to move out of this apartment or something. The clients are leaving left and right. My business isn't doing good. We got this whole bullshit that people are buying into. Now I have a fucking leak from the roof of my neighbor, and they're gonna have to come in here, cut my fucking kitchen open. I'm gonna be without a kitchen for a month. Like this shit is outrageous, bro. Left and right, things are just hitting me. It's really interesting times.
Without a kitchen for a month, the fuck they gonna do? Like, how much are
They
they gonna
gotta
remodel
cut the
everything?
whole shit. They gotta cut the whole thing open and then redo the inside.
What
shit
kind
is
of
wild? Because it's facing the outside. So I guess it's when it's an outside facing wall. I don't know, man. They're just giving me the lowdown, all this stuff, and I'm just like, man, I'm on month to month right now. I should probably get out of this place to begin with.
Yeah, look, they just passed new property laws and shit. Like this election just set some new legislation off, and I warned. Oh, I don't know if I warned you guys, but I definitely warned it when I was doing the proposition videos that if these proposition pass, they're gonna start making up fucking excuses, start kicking people out, so they can start charging more for the new people coming in. And yeah, I think that's only gonna happen at far greater intervals. Like people are gonna start coming up with random renovations that we need to remodel the whole house. You kind of have to vacate the premise, or they're gonna make it so uncomfortable that they're gonna force you to vacate the premise. A month to remodel a kitchen? That seems.
No, well, he's just saying the whole process. I can see where he's talking about it. Like I just asked him an estimate. You can see all the cracks. This shit is fucked up. Like you can see, but it's also they have to come in tomorrow and check and see if there's asbestos in here, and if there is, then they got to go through a whole different fucking process, and then I'm gonna be put out for even longer. Man, when they sent, it's wild times. Man.
Yeah, well, shit seems to be building up over there where you're at, dude. Like that just builds my case. We got to get the fuck out of California. You guys are just making my case here. California. That's not this spot is I mean Oregon. Shit.
We gotta get out of Oregon.
You gotta get out of Oregon now. Yeah, I think it's time for everybody to move, man. I'm for all the reasons I'm looking for ways to move. But it seems like you really are being forced to move around. Shit, man. That's intense. That's not cool. I'm sure everything will be all right though.
Yeah, every door that closes, and all sorts of new doors open. Moving can be really a good thing. You get to change all sorts of neural wirings that you had and patterns. You get to wire them up to new environments. Um, yeah, as far as moving out of the US, I've been hearing stuff on both sides. There was that one, yeah, like on the positive side of the, um, on the staying in the US side argument, US is pretty much the most free country right now.
In what way though? Define free.
Constitution, Bill of Rights.
That's being
Um,
challenged in every step of the way right now.
it's being challenged, but how is it in the rest of the world?
But what about what freedoms? I know what the Constitution grants you by on like on paper, but when it comes to personal freedoms, what is the best about the United States? I think freedom of speech is the main thing. Like if I do go to Thailand, I can't talk shit about the king. That's a given. Like I just we cannot say anything about the royals.
I
That's
bet we did the whole time we were there.
yeah, but they didn't catch us. So that we didn't say shit. So
Not to mention we traffic stuff across borders. Oh, I mean, we didn't do any of that.
allegedly, shit, bro, we're here on live. You got me. Allegedly,
I'm just messing. Trafficked fake stuff, you know.
fake bracelets. Yeah,
Baking soda.
yeah, bracelets. That doesn't help our
Just
case.
kidding.
That does not help our case. I wasn't even close to baking
Funny
soda.
inside
no,
jokes.
it was a joke.
Oh man.
You guys
Oh,
and your
man.
make-believe stuff.
Yeah.
Shit, I shouldn't have took all those changs across the border, man. I didn't know you can't take beer across Thailand.
Yeah, I guess not. Shit. But yeah, look. So when it comes
Okay,
to
so
freedom,
definitely not Asia though. Like China, if you like China's China, they're the epicenter of this whole madness. They gave the virus, they incubated the virus pretty much, and they're pretty much the ideal totalitarian dictatorship. They got 1 million people. I'm actually like, I just posted something on my page that like, we should have a war with China right away, as soon as possible. We should be invading China and um, and invading the concentration camps that they have, where they're holding
the Uyghurs,
peaceful Muslims, peaceful Buddhists.
Buddhists, really? Buddhists
Yeah,
do?
they got these Buddhist people. They're not like religious. They're the Fang Shi, whatever, Guang Fang Shi or whatever. They just do some, Tai Chi stuff, and it's not religious. It's just spiritual. And um, labor camps, like outside of these concentration camps, which are organ harvesting concentration camps, because like Luke Ludowski was talking about it on Timcast, where they it's most likely people that like uh, really wealthy people in China who want clean organs, and who eats the cleanest. You got these halal Muslims, Uyghur Muslims who only eat halal, so their
Hello.
organs are pretty damn clean. They don't drink alcohol. They don't eat pork. They got some clean organs too if they want transplants. So
Yeah,
that's one big market for these organ harvesting camps.
yeah.
Um,
China's horrible, bro. Like I would never move to China, ever,
yeah, but the
ever.
thing is, China's like expanding its front,
It
like
is.
on all areas, because you just talking about how all this shit is just desert.
Yeah.
China has to like invade everything, and they haven't done it just geographically in this area. They've they've taken over, our president elect. He's
No, man, he ain't a president-elect. That's the AP telling that. Like, he's not the
yeah,
president-elect yet. Hashtag
well,
not
he
my
is
president.
president. What is that term? I've never even heard of president elect. Like they've never even used that term, but
No, they have.
Yeah, they did. They used it for, Trump,
Yeah,
2016
the
too.
president-elect is a person
Been
who's
around.
yeah
It's basically the person who's president won the
won
presidential
the
it's just
election.
campaign,
so
Yo.
the
brainwashing though.
election.
Like they just have you see that on every post you see about an
Of
election.
course you do.
That's
Yeah,
why I'm just like, what is this term? Like,
It's
that
fact checking bullshit.
that is a new thing. That is a new.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's just
not this
bullshit.
is the only time that you've ever had somebody
Yeah,
who's the actual president tweeting some things and saying like, no, this is false information. He's not, Biden's the real president elect. Like, you're censoring your own
we've
president of the United States at the
we've
moment.
been brainwashed to think that the media is fucking God when they're just a bunch of fucking liars who have been bought and paid for by, well, many times fucking China, dude. China's a very dangerous country, in my opinion, with dangerous ideologies. They are not.
Does China not? I mean, don't they work with Russia to an extent though? Like,
I don't know. I don't know what you mean by work with. I mean, they used to be communists, but I don't think Russia and China.
Yeah, I wonder what the
Well,
relationship is.
they were trying to
seeing
do a new currency. They were trying to form BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. I think
because
those five
I've seen
nations.
something floating around online was talking about like if you dig into Hitler, Hitler was doing really good for Germany. Stalin's the real person we should be looking at, and like there's a lot of books about some of these leaders that are terrible, granted, right? But like, what were they doing for their people? He cared for his people to the same extent. Like it's kind of like Donald Trump being ostracized but caring about the Americans per se. Or you know what I mean? Like no more American than American man who has businesses in America, cheating the American system.
Yeah, I mean,
Even the system,
Trump.
he's broke as shit.
You're right, man. Trump is the embodiment of America, which
Yeah.
is that. But I think Hitler probably was ostracized a bit, but he did do a lot of fuck shit. Like,
Oh, for sure. I'm not gonna say that. Nonetheless,
great for his people, whatever whoever he defined as his people.
true.
Yeah, that's the thing. And yeah, Hitler. No, I mean Stalin did bad shit. Mao Zedong. I don't think the Chinese people know their history, because I actually did have Chinese students, and they weren't like 15-year-olds. No, these people were like 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, and I was talking to them, and we were talking about dictators and stuff like that, and I actually showed them the death rates of Mao Zedong compared to fucking Stalin, and told them that y'all fucking got destroyed. I don't know why you guys like praise this guy for killing and starving all of you, like all your previous generations, not all your previous generations, but your previous generation. And yeah, China has the perfect system that the Democrats want. That's what it is. China has a perfect system that Democrats want. During the debates, did you guys see that part where China, whenever Pence was talking about China, they kind of lost connection? Did you see that part? Yeah, dude. Every time Pence was talking about China, it wasn't shown in China. And as soon as Harris started talking about China, oh, perfect, clear connection, no problem. And there's some shady shit going on, man. And this is why go for it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure people know that China's horrible. They just don't know how horrible it is, and until you actually learn about it. But
they've been destroying us, dude. They've been destroying America for.
But everyone's excuse is like even the not turning their front yard into a garden. Everyone's fucking lazy, bro. Is what it comes to. Oh, I don't want to do that. Well, I don't want to research. Well, I don't want to do this. Well, I don't want to fucking work on a farm. Like,
well, I don't want to work on a farm either, but I will if I have to.
I get it, but I'd grow your own herbs. See something like I think that if you were to grow plants, you'd see how slow nature is, how patient nature is, and then we'd probably not want to be like so go, and like we'd have to fucking slow the fuck down.
Another big problem, though, is that most of us don't own our shit. The higher majority of the population rents, and when you rent, you don't really own.
But even owning doesn't really do much for you, too, though.
Huh?
I mean, owning doesn't really.
But you have the property rights. You have the ability to do whatever the hell you want to that dirt, unless having a garden in your front yard is illegal, which is illegal in some places here in the United States.
Most places.
Yeah, there you go. You have to have it in your
They
backyard.
made it illegal to. Oh wow, that's so insane.
Exactly. So there's these little fucking rules and laws with the neighborhood associations or whatever the fuck they're trying to do. So we're stifled in so many ways. I do think people are fucking lazy. I do think most people aren't going to do anything. They're not going to try to get their own water or do their own thing.
True, but I mean, so if you flip it and people got paid to have gardens in the front of their house, they would do it because our motivating factor seems to be some fiat-based currency that has no fucking backing to begin with, but we've so programmed to think that we need money for this barter system. When I think that an economy should be a trading of service for service, right? Do you have a service that's of value to other people? Okay, let's trade each other's services here. We don't really need money to begin with. Because there's plenty of people that have services that other people need, and you could trade. Like the ubuntu is a really good idea as well. Just like thinking about community-wise, having a communal garden, growing 3 times the amount of what you grow, and then you trade with other communities that have other different crops that you're growing. But again, it is what it is.
The problem is there's too many people. The ubuntu and the trade economy and that kind of like bartering like system. It's great when you have localized systems and everyone kind of there in one, like if it's a community, yeah, that can probably work. If it's a city, like, how you gonna get a million people to start trading things with each other and useful, efficient ways? You're still gonna end up with a sort of market. There's the market's still gonna become available. So creating that kind of system it works great when it comes to volunteers. If everybody decides to be a volunteer, but it's very hard to implement because nothing's built around that. Nothing's built around sharing. Everything's built around money. Like, so even if you do want to become a sharing community collective, everything else in order to get the resources to do it isn't built around that. So you still have to go into the market system. So the better system, like I've been saying, is we have to have both. We have to have your system and we have to have the market system at the same time. It's kind of where we need to go. It's kind of what I want to do too. Tim Cass is building a community, bro. He's doing the actual thing. Like, he has land, he has buildings. He's basically almost off the grid, he says, and people are just gonna keep watching this guy. He's setting up some good stuff, bro. Like, I think this guy's gonna be a future fucking, not a leader, but a future
Pioneer.
tycoon. Like, tycoon's a bad word.
Warlord.
Role model, huh?
Role model is a better word, yeah.
Yeah, a lord. No, a role model. No, he's gonna be a good. He's doing a perfect. Not a perfect. He is actually doing the things we've been saying we should do. Getting out, buying land, getting your own electricity, getting 3D printers so you can start making your own stuff, being able to make your own gadgets and gizmos there, having a place to have your own resources. That's the kind of mentality that a lot of us need to go in. Not everyone can do this. Not everyone's going to be saved by doing this. But if we start building small communities, we can actually start making some kind of change. It always goes back. We should build small communities, man.
So not everyone can do that though. What do
True.
you guys think is going to happen, like, to most of the country, um, when she hits the fan? I guess, like, because that's what, with the Great Reset, they actually been saying that this next, uh, they haven't fully put in the bill yet, but they were theorizing that they were going to put that only the people that get the vaccine would be getting the next stimulus package.
Stimulus check.
Man, I had somebody in my DMs basically say, like, on my thing about, like, if they're gonna pay you for this, do you think they have your best interest in mind? And someone's like, yes. And I'm like, where are you getting here? Like, what makes that make sense in your world?
For them, they're in the vaccine mind that, they're doing it out of a benevolent desire to um, make sure that this virus doesn't spread, even though all the facts point the other way, that, since it doesn't actually make you immune to COVID, and it doesn't.
It doesn't. Something you need a constant booster for does not make you immune. How the fuck are people still listening to this shit, bro? Like, how do you listen to these people say it's not gonna be one vaccine, it's gonna be a multiple shot thing. You have to come back in a couple of weeks, and then you have to come back again next year, and then you have to come. You're getting the flu shot, people. You're literally being brainwashed to take the flu shot now. Now we're being fear mongered into taking the flu shot. This has been my opinion forever. They just want to make us start taking the flu shot.
Just the
Why?
fact that, like, what is it, like 90%, 80% of the people get, like, a bad reaction to it.
An adverse reaction. I think that was one of the studies in one of those cases. But yeah, America is so weird, dude. Like, there's gonna be pockets of places where people are not gonna take it and they're gonna come out with guns. And there's gonna be pockets of places where people are gonna be lining up out the fucking door to take that shit.
Yeah, it's an attack on healthy people, though, man. It's fucking stupid.
I don't think the healthy people are gonna take it. If you're that healthy,
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, because they know better, though, or attack on critical thinkers, people that are
right.
And now you're like, you get looked at bad because you're not a like feeding into the narrative or
Right.
what have you. But
You're not afraid.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, this is biblical. It was told in the Bible that when this happens, don't take it. The Bible literally says there's going to be a beast system, and when it happens, don't take it. Um, suffer through it, suffer through the starvation or whatever difficulties you're going to face, just suffer through it, and then Jesus is going to come and um, kick the banker's ass again.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, even like reading Viktor Frankl when he wrote that book, Man's Search for Meaning, and when he was in the concentration camps, there was no sight of you getting out of the concentration camps, but holding on to that, knowing that maybe one day you will. That's what people continued. It was once the man gave up his will to live, then it was over. It was game over. But these people still live their lives like, hey, I'm gonna get out of this someday. I don't know how, I don't know what, but I still have a will to live, and I still have a meaning to live. Because I mean, but even in religions, from what I hear from most people that get out of textbook religions, talk about most religions preach that we're all innately flawed, we're all innate sinners, we're all terrible people, and we need to blah blah blah, whatever. You know what I mean? Like repent for your sins constantly. Whereas if you sit with a humans by nature are actually really good. It's kind of programmed in us otherwise, or societal norms or set environments that bring out whatever. Or the context, again, environment, context of the environment you grow up in, context of what's fed into you subconsciously through your parents. Did they tell you, that you can do anything you want, or did they kind of tell you you're not going to amount to anything, or where were they at? It's like so many different factors to the same extent.
That's true. I still have this belief that the Western religions were made for savages who couldn't read, which is true. That the Western religions were made for savages who couldn't read, and they're literally placed spiritual religious ideologies on an already formed hierarchy. So it just it's all about power, in my opinion. Western
Yo,
religions are all about power.
I forgot. I got some weird,
These are
like,
great.
I've had some people, like this one person DM me and they're from Nigeria and they're talking to me about Aludumare and then the IFA and like saying that I have some blockages and some people are speaking evil tongues on me and they're trying to get me to donate some sort of stuff so they could take these blockages off and that I can continue to, be my greatness. Otherwise, I'm going to continue to have these blockages and I'm going to continue to have these, tribulations and trials, etc. It's like pressuring me almost to make this happen ASAP.
I've had Nigerian, I don't know Nigerians, but they were definitely African spiritual workers try to contact me, and I was like, all right, that's cool, bro. Like, like I don't ignore them or I don't attack them. I'm just like, oh, okay. They even tried calling me, and I didn't pick up. And he was like, you didn't pick up, and I was like, yeah, you're right,
Man,
I didn't pick
they
up.
transferred over to WhatsApp. They transferred all this stuff, and then like they're very pressing. So what I did, I have a lot of friends from Nigeria, and I'm like, man,
Oh
who is
damn.
this Ala Dumare? And like I know people who live in the States that are from Nigeria, so I'm trying to
Nope.
figure out what the heck they're even trying to say.
I think it's a scam, bro. It's like the Ethiopian prince scam.
Yeah, I
Oh,
would, I wouldn't even like, I wouldn't listen to them. I wouldn't prank call with them. I wouldn't do any of that stuff with them because the more you talk with them, the more they're gonna try to program you into, connecting the whatever is going on in your life with whatever they're
Yeah,
saying. And even
the
if it is true,
it's cold
psychic
reading.
influences aren't that hard to block off, right? I mean, just uplift your own condition and do your, keep your energetic, uh, you know, mantras that you already probably have tested, chant om and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, that what sounds like what he was doing is a cold read. Everyone has problems. Everyone has tribulations. Life is what was it? Life is not pain. Life is what did Buddha say?
Suffering.
Suffering. Yeah, life is suffering. So obviously, anybody they're gonna talk to on Instagram, they're gonna be suffering one way or another. There's gonna be something wrong going on with them. And if you can say that whatever I can do helps you, then more profit to them. So yeah, you gotta watch out from cold reads. And that's what that
Well, I
is.
mean, first of all, when they asked for money, I was like, hey, listen, first of all, you're in a culture where you're asking me money for online. I have no idea the fuck you are. You really think I'm going to pay you some money? Like, really. Like, I'm not that stupid. This makes no sense. How are you going to prove to me what you're even saying is true? Like, go more into detail, etc. But they're just pressing,
I got it.
trying to get, yeah.
Tell them to prove that you're a real person. Send me a Bitcoin. Scam the scammers. Scam the scammers.
Yeah, no, I mean, you gotta have compassion for because the whole world is more poor now than it was before America got sunk into all these, uh, restrictions. Because the whole world relies on American consumption, you know, and there's a lot of people now starving in third world countries, dying more because they, would rely on all these entertainment industry that America would feed. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people reaching out and that's the best they can do to feed themselves and their family because yeah.
Or they have a call center filled with Nigerian spirit workers. I mean, I can imagine that happening, dude. Like, I
Yeah,
saw
there's
this.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I've seen a Netflix series where it's a Japanese series where these guys were literally scammers, and they would call old people and be like, "Mom, I'm in jail, please help!" And then they scare the shit out of the old people, and then like they would just make it seem like they were police. Were like, "Okay, we'll let them go if you give us this much money," and lots of people paid up. Like there was billions of dollars, not millions of dollars going through there, and that was just a scam. Like they do these kinds of things. These are real, but yeah, you just gotta get your energy up. And if anything starts attacking you, just blow them up with an atom bomb of light. That's what I do. Anytime I feel like anything's about to attack me, I blow up my existence with light. So I just see myself go boom and blow up like fucking Goku.
There's a Rumi quote that's like helped a lot. When it's like, when everything around you seems dark, look again, you may be the light.
There you go. That's what's up. Hey, and to be honest, every time everything is going to hell, I look at it this way now. I'm like, well, what the fuck?
That
Is
pendulum
next?
gonna swing the other way.
Yeah, like what's next? If I'm this fucked right now, what happens when I'm on the other side of this, dude? Like,
well, and is being fucked really, like, is it a perception thing anyways? Like, is it perspective? What is it,
I mean, you could quite literally be fucked, but
I mean, I'm not having any penetration happening in my life in that aspect.
But yeah, it is perspective, and a lot of times it's our own mental games. Like to me, this past couple of years, has been my own mental games, and I'm tired of playing mental games with myself. I just want to do some shit that actually fucking helps me, helps the people around me, and helps the world. Like I'm done playing my own fucking games. I'm actually stopping myself. The one Buddhist meeting that we keep having, it actually has helped me. What was it, sir? Stop, examine, and what's the R? It's not react. Something else.
Yeah. Stop, examine, and
R something, whatever. But the stop, examine is the key points for right now, because every time I'm having some kind of thought that would lead me to another karmic loop that I call, I stop and I laugh and I go, ha, here I go again. God damn, what the hell? And then after that, I take myself out of my own situation. Like, this is me. This is all that's happening. I pull myself back from whatever situation is, and it becomes lighter, and it's not that heavy or important anymore. And then I eventually let that thought go. Meditation has been fucking it's such a blessing, to be honest. So weird that I'm so not afraid, but so hesitant to like do my yogic practices sometimes. I just fight myself like, no, I don't want to do it. Yes, I should do it. No, I don't want to do it. Yes, I should do it. When in reality, I should just be like, it's time to do practices, and that's it. Boom, go. And sometimes I'm like that, but many times I'm like hesitating and doing all this nonsense. But
I feel like anything worthwhile, there's always going to be resistance against it, though. I mean, even I read what a really good book, Stephen Pressfield's War on Art, and it's like, going pro as opposed to amateur, like throwing yourself out there no matter what, because you're going to be ostracized for anything, whether you're 100% factual, you got
Right.
every study on
Right.
the planet, you've seen it firsthand.
Right.
Somebody's gonna be like, nah, that's wrong. So
Yeah.
like no matter what, it's just knowing, you know, you're gonna the person that makes anything happen in this life has a shitload of arrows in their back that you're not seeing,
Yeah,
but they're
dude.
just persevering.
That's the realest shit of all. I think the thing that knocks people down is that they stop trying. They stop trying. It's not about how many times you try, it's about how many times you get back up. And we've heard that in many, many
Fall 7,
ways.
stand up 8. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah, dude, I feel like I've just sometimes I feel like I'm fucking getting owned with a fucking machine gun of arrows. And
right.
now I see what the benefit of this could be. Even if there's not, there probably is. There's something that you can probably benefit. There's a silver lining in everything. And saying, okay, find the silver lining sounds kind of mean, because you're like, oh, some horrible traumatic thing happened to me and da 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 da. I'm like, well, if you don't find the silver lining in this, you're going to carry around that trauma for the rest of your life. And carrying around trauma only leads to you breaking yourself down and holding yourself down. And fuck it, dude. We're all going to die. This is why I love yogic practices. It's like, it's, you realize how important breath is. You realize how quickly life can go away. And you realize that life is more than the worries in your head. It's about experiencing, enjoying, and being a part of this life.
It's well, yeah. I mean, I continue to try to remind myself it's Maya, the illusion, but at the same time, this illusion feels so damn real at times, man.
It's a
And that
billion
pain
percent
feels
real.
so damn real.
If it wasn't real, then it wouldn't be worth it or Maya. Like, the fact that the Buddha said life is suffering should speak volumes, dude. If this guy who's reaching light and who's inner peace out, he says life is suffering, god damn, what about the rest of us? Like, we're literally walking around in our own hells.
I mean, he didn't. I think the term suffering, dukkha, in Pali, which was originally a lot of texts will not even translate it as suffering. But suffering, it doesn't mean it in such like a heavy way. It just says suffering in the sense that it dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction is a better translation for it, actually.
Okay.
It's not like life is torture or anything.
Yeah.
Technically, on a subtle level, when you are just in that calm, blissed out state, and you're meditating, then you realize that everything in life is kind of an irritation. It's kind of dissatisfaction.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to really totally satisfy you.
Yeah.
And the takeaway from that is that you don't got to be so attached to things and expect it to fulfill you 100%, because nothing's going to fulfill you 100%, even $1 billion trillion. No matter what it is, nothing's going to make you 100% happy all the time, because everything has three characteristics, which it's impermanent, it's unclean, it's not, it's not perfectly pure, and it's not a complete self. It's interdependent. So those three characteristics are in every single thing in existence. That's why nothing's gonna give you complete satisfaction. So, but being able to see those three characteristics in every single thing, you'll develop wisdom, and then you'll be able to not have this addiction to things and expecting them to make you happy. So that's the purpose of like Buddhist practice, to take away that addictive energy that we have to things and expecting everything to make us happy. And but then just some people take that to mean like, oh, then life is just whatever, life is just a dream, life is just it doesn't matter what I do. But that's also the wrong attitude. It does matter what you do. This isn't just totally a dream, it's like a virtual simulation.
It's a real
It's
dream.
like a game.
Life is a game.
It's exactly like a game, but it's a game that actually matters, because there is something that's hard to describe, that's going to help you if you really work at it. And that's what all the sages and all the prophets and all the saints have been telling us, like trying to hammer at us, their whole life. They gave up everything. Like Buddha gave up his entire palace, his entire kingdom, just in order to, same with like a lot of other saints and exemplary saints, but also a lot of people that didn't make that exemplary sacrifice also give us the same message. So they're pointing their finger at something, and it's up to us to find out, to walk the path that they all laid out in front of us.
Yeah, it's a good path though.
Yeah. Dang, we went from this one thing. Yeah,
Sober life to Buddhism.
sober life, and then
realization. Everything goes back to realization and enlightenment. Like it really does. And many times, like whatever topic, whatever thing, it usually does come back to self-realization. Yeah, this is the path we're on. This is the path we have chosen. I mean, I have chosen this personally because I'm not drawn to anything else. I'm not drawn to fame or cars or jewels or things or traveling or food or any of these things. Like all these things are like whatever's to me. I like them if I get the chance. If I get the opportunity, sure, I'll do it. But I'm not chasing all these things. I actually do want to just get shit done. Like I do want to just get some hemp, plant it there, process it, manufacture it, create products, and start replacing all their shitty products right now. Why? It'll be more efficient. To me, it's just efficiency and making things more green and making things more co-simpatico with the earth. Like right now, we're like fighting earth. And we don't need to be fighting earth. We can work with it. We can. But we have chosen to fight it and extract its resources in a very unsustainable way.
Yeah, we're not completing the cycle.
No.
We're being kind of cancerous on the earth. We're taking and taking,
Yes.
and we're pooping on the other end, but we're not recycling that poop.
Right.
And we just all we have to do is we just got to finish the circle.
Finish the circle.
We're like excessively consuming, but yeah, we got to just finish the circle by also producing and creating things that we can reconsume again.
If that excessive consumption led to stuff that could be broken down again and then put back into that cycle like you were talking about, then yes, we would be way more sustainable. And there are actually machines that I have seen that are able to break down plastics, many kinds of plastics, back down to oil, back down to like the liquid fucking thing, which is crazy. I mean, I haven't gone and seen these machines, but I know that Thailand has one. I know Germany's working with one, and I know this company, I forgot the name of the company, but I was looking at it like, I think last year. And these things are out there. Technology is going to be out there. It's just,
See, here in the States, there's so much work. I would say there's a lot of work to put in because look at how many different divisive measures are being implemented just here alone. I mean, currently the divisive measures that we have amongst us, anti this, anti that, Black Lives Matter, defund the police. Like, there's so much divide that people can't even come to an understanding or a mutual realize that everyone's kind of preaching the same thing and just respect people for their opinions and not I'm right, you're wrong type ordeal. There are some things that are innately, some people are definitely arguing properly on one side, but still like so many things to pull our attention in so many different ways in regards to that, as opposed to, I think it's just bickering anyways. There's so many different things that energy could be focused on, so many more ways it could be implementing for better than just stagnating in the same position and just going around in the same repetitive circle, you know what I mean? Arguing this. It's very interesting stuff.
But the main thing is that people think their little issues that they have here can be extrapolated to like a national level, and they can have a national response to kind of personal little events that happened. You can't have blanket statements for anything. It's impossible. Socialized Medicare would work if it was locally based and not nationally based. Like socialized agriculture and farming would work if it was locally based and not internationally based. So people think the problems in Chicago are the same as the problems in some city in Georgia or fucking Florida or whatever. And they're not. There's two different fucking problems, two different groups of people doing two different things, and should be handled accordingly. Everyone should always be trying to do better and not trying to fuck anybody else up. But forcing people, rules and legal legislation, all this shit, this is communism. Communism doesn't work because blanket rules and blanket statements don't fucking work. There's always things, there's always nuance, there's always the middle ground. And there's no room for middle ground if there's only one answer. And this is the main problem with all these fucking movements. A lot of these movements are like I was seeing, I don't know who was saying this, but they're following Marx's playbook. Like all the identity politics, all the division, all this fighting the man. I have no problem fighting the man, but I fully recognize who the fuck the man is. And it's not the 1%. It's not even the 0.1%. It's a select group of individuals who are very wealthy, who have
But they're not in the limelight. Nobody knows who they really are.
Exactly.
I mean, not majority, yeah.
Who have been
They're
doing
not
this
going to be talked about.
eons, dude. So I'm not fighting the
That's what they're
man.
trying. Like most people need to realize, like the richest people, the most wealthiest people on the planet, you're not going to find in Forbes. You're not going to find in any sort of magazine. They're not going to have their faces out there.
Yeah, the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds are not on Forbes. I mean, maybe the Rockefellers are, but the Rothschilds are definitely not on Forbes, and they own all the money. And there's people above them. Who the fuck is above them? I don't know, but there are. And that's the scary part. Most people are fucking fighting each other, and we're too busy fighting each other to realize that the enemy's over there laughing.
Yeah, that's why I
And you
think
have countries with kings too, kings and queens and monarchies. So it's
Kings
really
could be
interesting.
good if monarchies are good if the king is good. Monarchies are shit if the king is shit, which is the same thing as every other leader. But you were saying, Ahmed?
Yeah, no, it's just regarding all that you guys were talking about. It's totally true. I like how Luke Podolsky was responding, or actually how Tim and Luke, they were talking about the same thing we were talking about here, how they're, communism, yeah, is horrible. And taking stuff from other people, your brothers and sisters, so that you can live off of them, that's not right. And even taking them from the wealthy, isn't right. But taking it from the people that stole, like that select group of people, that might be right, but that has to go through a legal process. And in the meantime, you got to learn how to farm. You got to learn how to feed yourself. And that's something that the wealthy cannot take from you if you work really hard. And, me personally, I think I'm just, this cataclysmic moment, I think a lot of people like me who are in the middle class and they haven't really had a kind of hard enough blow to get out of the way. It might be, I'm kind of, concerned that whatever happens, this, great reset thing, they might really put a lot of us in this situation where we have to take the deal that they're offering, or, because they're just going to kind of like corner us in a way. And the people that had a little push, they had a little difficulty, and they just kind of ran off to go off grid and stuff, they might be a lot better off than 99.6% of people who are not farmers in the country, and
it's 1,000% right, bro. We are fucking soft. I am soft. I need more survival training. I need more weapons training. I need more, what's it called?
Yeah, and it's not even
basic training.
It's not even that all this stuff, you already have the vision.
Yeah.
All you need to do is just do it. And it's not, the financial part isn't even that tough either. Just get like 4 or 6 people together, and we did community service stuff in college. I mean, in high school.
That's true.
And kind of a little bit in college too. I think we went back a few times, but all through high school, it's nice that we have this experience to even talk about. Most people don't.
Right.
And it's just the same thing, but on a bigger level. Just each person has to pitch in, a few grand for, the tubs and seas and all that stuff, and the rent for the land, and that's it. Just a few thousand, and that's all you really need to have an off-grid get started with, you know, the food aspect, and then there's more, you know, if you want to expand more, but you don't have to be like totally off grid. Just like the food independence is pretty important. Like they put all sorts of like GMO stuff, and God knows what it does, and God knows what the mRNA is going to really do to us. Like this beast thing, you know. Like, why did the Bible talk about so? Like, why did they prophesy all this? And um, you know, like who knows what it really does? Maybe we're being too fearful, and it doesn't really do that much except just turn off certain parts of your DNA that allow you to achieve spiritual enlightenment. That most people are not going to achieve it anyways. Most people aren't going to tap into that anyways.
True.
You know.
True.
So it's
Yeah, but you also got to consider: do most people even want to? Do they even care? I mean, you got to think about that same aspect.
Which leads to the reason that most people aren't going to do it.
That's why it won't happen.
Yeah. Right.
well, everyone wants happiness, and spiritual enlightenment is just happiness. That's all it is. Spiritual enlightenment is just getting rid of the 78th problem, right?
Right, but here's what happens when you call it enlightenment, or you talk about spiritual. People just tune out right then and there because of that. You know, just because of the vocabulary that's being utilized in that aspect.
Yeah, but I mean that's it's the lexicon that we have, and
because it's been programmed though. Certain things are programmed for us to just shut off automatically. They think like woo woo type shit automatically.
I think the reason they do that is because a lot of people have been studying enlightenment and things like that throughout their whole life, and they've been seeking it, and they kind of failed to, and they didn't, you know, they got exhausted from it, or you know, they just.
I don't think they ever started the journey.
I get the same kind of annoyed feeling by the word enlightenment.
Yeah.
But that's the reference word for, you know, the whole thing that all these Eastern things, you know, this tapestry of stories in the Eastern tradition all reference the same word. You know,
because it almost seems like it's already put on some sort of pedestal or something. Because
but it is on a pedestal.
It is on a pedestal.
It should be, and it's meant to be, just like your true self should be put. I mean, it should be put on a pedestal, and in like, you know, in comparison to the mundane, but actually it's part of the mundane too, and you know. But you know, on an ontological point of view, like, you know, what's important in life, like it is like important, but more important in after you've got we've got the whole survival thing out of the way. Like the purpose of life is once you've got your lower chakra needs met, the higher chakra stuff, you know. But
right. Basically once you have realized that survival is extremely easy and all you need to survive really is food and a place to shelter yourself from the environment and some water. That's what I realized. I was like, as long as I have food, somewhere to fucking shelter myself, and some water, I'm fucking good. I don't need to be stressing about shit. Because if you being constantly stressed doesn't help you at all. So that's lower chakra. The second one, stop being such a fucking hornball. Stop letting fucking porn rule your life. Stop letting sex rule your life. That's the second chakra. What's it called? Reproduction. The third chakra is energy, and well, that's basically having enough resources and enough food. That's security. So once you have those three chakras kind of set, then okay, fine. It's much easier to go into a spiritual journey, which is kind of the main reason why I do want to build a community, is to be like, all right, here's the food, here's the water, here's a safe place for you to fucking like live. Let's get spiritual. No excuses from you anymore. Like all these.
Yeah, just imagine like all your stuff, all your needs, all the Maslow's hierarchies are met. What are you gonna do with your time? Like, just imagine you're totally content with life, and just imagine you know, like you're totally physically satisfied, sexually satisfied, you're emotionally satisfied, your communication needs are also met, and even your your creative needs are met. Like you've got all that stuff, just you're happy, you're totally content.
Now what?
Now you want to reach the cosmic divine. You're curious, like what's outside of this planet, what's in the universe,
what's the next level. I mean,
what's in the afterlife, and all those other things, you know, after you leave. And like
I
bigger
think
questions, you know, the bigger questions, which should be the only question,
right,
which are really the only questions, you know, and
right.
everything else is just small questions.
And I think there's actually two kinds of people in this situation. There's three kinds of people. One, there are the people who have never even thought of this. It hasn't even crossed their mind once. Enlightenment, spirituality, not even just the words chakras or doing all this stuff. No, trying to seek what more is out there. There's a lot of people who haven't even begun questioning, which is kind of messed up, but that's where they're at. That's where they're at in their journey. The second group of people have questioned, have done all this stuff, but they're stuck in the logic. They're completely stuck in logic and empirical evidence and data and all this stuff. And this usually happens from people who are not spiritual and haven't had high doses of psychedelics. If you haven't been forced into a spiritual experience or have cultivated a spiritual like life, then it's really hard to go above the logic. It really is. I mean, I was like this before I started. Well, before the first time we smoked together. I mean, my first time, like I remember my brain was a completely different way, and it was 1,000% logic based. After that, I started realizing that logic wasn't the end all be all. I started realizing that just facts, figures, numbers, this or that or this, like it wasn't that there's more to all of these things. There's way more aspects than I had ever fucking realized. And that was me being really high, stuck in a fucking corner. Like I remember one time I got stuck on I took a hit and I went to the couch in the wall and kind of just stood there. I was just like, oh shit, like that. And those kinds of moments of me going, it's when you lose control of what you think reality is. Once you're able to play with what you think reality is and you're not so set and this is what everything is and blah blah blah, then you start questioning. I start becoming more curious. I was like, well, what else out there? What else can I do? What else am I gonna think? What else is gonna happen? Like it got me on this journey. Weed literally got me on the spiritual journey.
Yeah,
And
like substances that either shock you out of your current beingness, or substances that make you so satisfied and so happy that you kind of let go of this beingness. Like those, you know, either at the end of the spectrum,
yeah,
when you let go of this form, then you just then the real questions come up, because this form is totally temporary. We all know this form is temporary. So the important question, and also it's a very short time actually. Like 70 years is a very, very short time in
very
the
short.
scheme of things. Like,
I was watching Sadhguru talk today, and he was like, "Yeah, your life is really really brief. You're gonna be dead for a long long time. You're gonna be dead for a really long time. Your life is extremely
yeah.
brief."
So the
So
most important question is like all that other stuff, because that's
yeah,
the stuff. But I mean, if you don't get all the other small stuff handled in life, then those are your biggest things. The small things are the
the
big
small
things
things are the
for
big things.
now.
Yeah,
But you know, like some people um, live for that kind of stuff, which is not, you know, they're lost in it, so it's not good.
I mean, they live their life however they want to live life. So yeah, three kinds of people. People who never thought of the questions, people who've thought of the questions but are stuck in logic, and then those that are actually seeking the answer, which is kind of us, those spiritual seekers. So I think the majority of people haven't even begun to question. I think the people in power are the ones that are stuck in logic. And I think the ones that are seeking aren't really interested in power anyway, so they're not going to change the system at all. So yeah, we need
Most people are like that. They're just taking a lot of the politicians, like they have like uh, Alex Jones and what you call it, um, Joe Rogan were both talking about the same thing on that. Like a lot of these politicians, they're power hungry individuals who don't have any of these spiritual things.
we don't
That,
even.
you know, they didn't come from a spiritual thing. Like Joe Rogan and Alex Jones were like, I wouldn't want to be president. I wouldn't want all that control. And Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And the people that are designing society are not coming from, most of them at least, are not coming from this place of uh, benevolence and
They're psychopaths, bro.
yeah, they're psychopaths basically. No,
Yeah,
yeah,
they don't necessarily actually want to help, man. It's bullshit.
They want to help themselves.
No, yeah, I mean the people though, yeah. And
Their
but it's
people.
so funny how Mr. Biden and then they all, oh, we want to, we care about the American family, we care about you, blah blah
It's all
blah.
bullshit, bro. It's
actually,
all
they were talking about how every president, basically, Bush, Obama, like all the presidents in our lifetime, they always said that they were going to pull the troops out. They all said that that was going to be the first thing they're going to do. And what have they done recently? Like only Trump's done a little bit, but I
yeah,
mean, in general, he still hasn't really delivered fully on
yeah,
his promise, and that's probably because he's surrounded by swamp monsters,
yeah.
that had to talk with him.
Had to talk with him. But Trump is a G in my opinion. Like he can be an asshole. He is an asshole. But at the same time, to like tell all those people to go fuck themselves and still do some shit, like him building a wall, to me is fucking amazing. I'm not pro wall. I think there are more efficient ways to do this than building a wall. But just the fact that he got the wall built, like a piece of wall built, I don't care how efficient it was. To me, it's just like, man, this motherfucker does whatever the fuck he wants. This guy is not care. Fuck. He's like, fuck everybody else. Fuck the people in Congress. Fuck the people here. I'm gonna do this because we gonna get this shit done. And like, I have to respect that. Even if I don't agree with what he was doing, I think it's kind of a waste of money to build a wall. Not because it doesn't protect people, but because there's more efficient ways to stop drugs. It's just legalize them. Legalize drugs. There's no illegal drug trafficking if you legalize drugs.
It's crazy.
I was originally a few years ago when I first read that, I heard one perspective
Hey,
that the wall is to like keep the U.S. people out rather than keep the when the crash happens and stuff. Yeah, just
oh
throwing
man, you're on Twitter. Hey, there's this one guy. He spits a lot of truth. You should look at some of the things he's posting. I'll tell you his handle, and you can go to his page and even read some of it right now. DMR Herbs.
Herbs?
Yeah, that guy.
I like his name. The Jew. How do you pronounce that?
I don't know. I think it's an African name.
DJ
A friend of mine
Wahidi.
knows. I know a guy in San Diego who that's actually his mentor and stuff like that. But like even one of his things, he's like ignorant and fearful people who remain this way are like fish caught in a net. They'll end up in the frying pan of the matrix and devoured.
That's real.
It's like, but
Yeah.
he's been going in on like he gives out free legal advice because he knows the legal system and he's actually he's been his own lawyer in certain court cases, but he just never he just studied law on his own. He doesn't actually have a lawyer degree or like he's not legalized able to practice law. Yeah. It's really interesting shit that he puts out there.
Interesting. But yeah, like fuck, where are we at?
I like this right here. The biggest room is the room for improvement. It's definitely INTJ.
He pushes a lot of stuff, man. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
And he's over like he's like, man, he's like, I do a lot of studying and I'm on here just to try to help you guys.
Yeah, I mean that's good. We need all the help we can.
There's a book that somebody Michael Morris just put out. The virus is not the cause. It's called Lockdown. It was just the perfect catalyst for the largest experiment ever conducted on humanity. There will be no going back to the old normal.
The greatest fucking wealth transfer in American history too. There's so many things to this fucking.
He goes, I study a lot of Israel Zionists because a lot of that content is banned and a lot of people who sought to reveal hidden content on the subject matter have been persecuted. To me, banning content is an attempt to hide information, which makes me question.
True. Kind of surprised Michael Moore put it out, but.
No, not Michael Moore, Michael Morris.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Michael Moore is pretty left. And
he even goes in, he's like, in 4 years, Trump has not started any new proxy wars. He helped to end the Syrian civil war by defunding the CIA, Mossad, moderate rebels, ISIS, ended the Korean Cold War, ended the East Ukraine war by bringing the criminal regime under control.
Yeah, that Ukraine shit was something else, dude. I remember.
He goes in.
Shit. Yeah, I'm not, and in terms of the whole geopolitical, genocide they're gonna do and stuff. I'm not too concerned about. I'm gonna try to avoid the vaccine as hard as possible.
Same.
But Just wondering, they're gonna have this great reset tied to it, and um, but I'm just wondering how is it gonna be in the city, and I'm pretty sure actually it's gonna be fine because a lot of people that haven't done any sort of preparation, they're gonna get that reset money, and they're gonna just slowly be killed.
Yeah.
They're not gonna
Yeah,
go
this
zombie style murdering me. They're
right,
gonna just slowly die,
right.
and I'll just be chilling myself, and
W-
and they're gonna slowly die because of their own ignorance. They deserve it.
That well, we all deserve what we get coming, but what we have
Well,
coming.
not
But
every well, yeah, I mean, from a massive karmic scale, but some things are undeserved.
it's
But
true.
like
True.
in this life, at least, like we didn't know what we did in that past life to deserve
Hey
um,
man, I
some
probably
things.
did deserve it. So
But a lot of people that are getting this vaccine, they totally 100% deserve it. There's been plenty of message that they haven't done their research.
yeah,
Man, that's wild to me too.
And if
This is the
we if
biggest
we
year
if
for
we're
red
on the wrong
pills, though. I'll say that.
huh?
This was the biggest year everyone got red pilled hard for the most part.
yeah, and if we got the red pill the wrong way and we got the wrong red pill, we deserve it too. I've done my critical thinking. I'm putting my faith on my critical thinking and a little faith on the Bible too. Um, like real faith, but yeah, most of them is like most of it's logic, and I don't want to. There's this funny Twitter here, like saying, well, why didn't we why don't we get blamed for all the times we people gave flu to us and stuff on Twitter. Where is it?
Yeah, I mean, why?
Well,
Why?
how come it was never anyone's fault when you caught the flu?
That's true.
That's the thing that's wild to me. Asymptomatic people are being hit hard, right? It's so fucking
Bad, bro. It's an insane thing, dude. It is an insane thing.
colds and flu are out the window.
Yeah,
That makes me a little comfortable, I guess. But then I think, people there still will be an increase in crime though. In the cities and stuff. It is a good idea
there
to.
are already there's already an increase in crime in places that have defunded the police.
Well, I mean, just in general too. Like even places that do have police, just because impoverishment and
Oh, for
um,
sure. I
lower.
mean, my apartment has a storage down low, and fucking one of my neighbors, I mean, they got fucking $10,000 worth of shit stolen.
Damn. Well,
But I'm talking about
Can't,
it's gonna get way worse
yeah,
though because
of
we haven't
course.
even really after this year at least when they're
we shall see.
Might have to fuck around and move back to Fresno and live for free for a little bit.
Fresno, that's like more crime.
Yeah, but I mean, that's where my family lives, bro. I ain't got nowhere else to go.
Oh, cool. Well, I mean, if they live which area do they live?
What do you like? Are you familiar with Fresno?
Yeah, and I know north
Like
side is better,
Palm and
west side is.
Herndon. I'm more North Fresno.
Oh, nice. I was looking for property over there originally, but it's kind of outside
Yeah,
of
kind
this
of by
one.
Bullard High School, not too far from there,
Cool,
but
dude.
not
I
too
want
far
to
from
visit you.
Pinedale, which Pinedale is kind of good.
I keep telling y'all, let's fucking move to Thailand. I don't want to listen. I don't see the draw of staying in the United States. I just don't. I I I, I don't. You can say there's more freedoms and there's all this stuff, but along with these freedoms comes so much bullshit. Like you can have less freedoms and less bullshit too. And the freedoms that we have here, they're pretty much all over the world. Like except for that one thing I said in the beginning, the freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is one thing I do enjoy from this country. I'm not gonna lie.
Either that, or I'm gonna go see if I can live with my uncle in Utah for a little bit.
Utah sounds dope. Learn how to
It
fucking
was low key as fuck, man. When I went to Zion, it was so chill in Utah, man. Bunch of Mormons, they ain't gonna mess with nobody.
they got all the guns too. They do, man. Like, have you heard about the Mormon community in fucking Mexico?
Mm.
There's a legit Mormon community in Mexico and they defend their own shit. Like they got into a war with the cartels like around there too. They ain't fucking around, which is
Huh.
which is good, man. I'm all for that. I'm all for people protecting themselves.
Yeah, because I don't know if I can do P and Dub. I couldn't do super north, man. I already get seasonal depression. I ain't trying to be in all this rain and all this snow and no sunlight and all that shit.
It's interesting, yeah. Like the Mexico, how the drug cartel members and Mafia that they have over there, they're they're nicer to their people than the our our oligarchs are to us,
Well,
stealing
Let's
90%
go move
of
to
the
Tulum.
stimulus checks. Huh?
that is
Go
true.
move to Tulum.
It's called the hearts and minds strategy. It's the Robin Hood
Oh,
strategy.
TULUM.
The cartels have actually given money to people. They have given scholarships to students. They have made schools and like created parks for people. Like, yeah, everybody who's a fucking millionaire, billionaire should learn from the cartels and actually start giving the community some shit. Even if it's just bribes, that's cool, man. Make your community better. Bribe them, feed them,
I
give
mean,
them some
fucking
good stuff.
A, yeah. That's what I mean. A lot of countries are bribes. Remember when we were in Cambodia, we got pulled over and motherfuckers just paid some money and bribed the police, let us go.
Dude, these guys are horrible. These oligarchs are horrible. They steal 90% of the freaking stimulus checks. I mean, the stimulus checks, they were the stimulus package was for was to help
Supposed to
the
be for the
people,
people.
right? But 90% of it went to the corporations. It doesn't make any sense. And the corporations
It-
got 100% increase in profit.
You know what pisses me off more? Is that the amount they gave out during the stimulus was the amount you need to actually start a what's it called? Universal basic income. Like we could have all been getting $1,000 checks a month. We could have all been getting $1,000 checks a month, but nah, these corporations with their thousands of people and millions of dollars and billions of dollars got most of it. Fuck all that, dude. Like all this is nonsense to me.
I wonder if it's because there's already some other countries have done what country has been doing, Canada, I think, has been doing like, a few $100s, $1,000 per month or something.
I think
Is
it's
it?
like places. I think it's a province in Canada.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
No,
but like
I'll do it.
they're probably not doing it here because there's unemployment benefits, EBT,
But you
all
would
those other
remove all those.
programs that people
You
can
would
apply for.
remove all of those things and just give them money.
Yeah.
I think that's a better EBT is to me is shady as shit, bro. You shouldn't be able to buy fast food and shitty food with EBT, in my opinion. There should be
Yeah.
there should be restrictions. Fruits, vegetables, and some good shit. If it ain't fruits, vegetables, and some good shit, you don't need to be buying it. We don't need to be
All right,
providing
you go
for
to
you.
7-Eleven, eat that nasty ass hot
Yeah.
dogs and nachos
Hot
and garbage
dogs,
ass
pizzas, fucking
taquitos.
microwave dinners,
Well,
all this other bullshit. Like, bro,
I don't know if there's a conspiracy. They're shaking hands behind the scenes. The MIC, the big pharma.
oh, they are.
I wonder if there's like an actual. I think there is. There's some documentary about it. How like the milk companies originally they would like dump out the milk and stuff, but then they had some sort of special contract. Oh, why don't we start selling the milk as cheese? Right. There was a documentary on that.
Something interesting. I read this book, and it goes into detail like a lot of things that happen in behind closed doors and stuff. The secret deals that are changing your world. It's really interesting. The chapters. I should actually reread this book, but fucking interesting.
That change. Another case, an example for that is when how they find out about whey powder. That shit used to be a toxic byproduct from was it from milk or from cheese? Either way.
Really, I just bought a freaking $60 package of that.
What, whey powder?
Whey protein isolate? Are you saying that's bad?
Terrible for you.
It's terrible for you, bro.
What?
Yeah, I don't know why you're eating
Yo, if
Well,
you're gonna
I-
take protein, you should go plant-based protein no matter what, man. Like,
hemp.
I mean, if you want to go Organifi has a really good company. I actually know the owner of that
Oh
company
yeah,
too.
my
man.
friend is always posting about that. How long does that stuff last? Because I'm just getting it to take once a week or because I already have most of my protein.
It'll be good. It's gonna last a while. It's made from organic ingredients as well too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta stop shopping at Costco.
That guy he's been on like many podcasts and like he's a real solid dude. Paul Check actually has talked to him on podcasts as well.
Organifi. Yeah, no, whey's bad for you, bro. Whey's not the business. It's this cheap. It's not even cheap. It's the shittiest form of protein you could probably eat, in my opinion. Because they used to throw that shit away until you realize you can bulk up with it, and then they started selling it to fucking the what's it called? The muscle builders. What do they call them?
Bodybuilders?
Bodybuilders. Muscle builders.
Maybe.
The bodybuilders, because it's an easy way to bulk up, but it's not healthy. just because it works in that form doesn't mean it's actually good for your body. I mean, I guess if you have organic whey protein, it'd be okay. But you're getting all of the chemicals and the residues and all this all the byproducts of this shit. And yeah, that's all bad. It's like getting away from GMOs.
Oh
Bro.
man, this one goes into
Even the
detail.
isolate,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
whey protein isolate, you know, like it's supposed to directly absorb and stuff.
Wow. Google have invested in SpaceX, but Google will no longer call the shots on the internet. Elon Musk will. And his friend Jack Selby smiling in the corner. They will not simply be the new Verizon or Comcast that will control internet access to Mars and the moon when SpaceX's returnable rockets ferry people back and forth from Earth, having colonized them too. In the immediate future, the returnable rocket changes life on Earth for one simple very reason. It will allow low orbit satellites approximately 100 miles above the planet to do the job satellites currently do with a fraction of the lag. In 2015, Wired calculated the increased internet speed from low orbit satellites and estimated they would cut a 500 millisecond lag to 20 milliseconds, the same speed of delivery as a fiber optic home internet connection now. No wonder Jack Selby kicked back in his chair that day and slicked back his hair. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't trust these people. I don't trust Elon Musk. I really don't. I think I don't know how he started out, but at this point in time, he really isn't helping out the people.
Nope.
He is not helping out the people. He's helping him and his people. Whatever that means, but yeah. I can't trust that guy.
I mean, his people being investors in his company.
And whoever the hell he sees he's following orders from. He might be the top of his companies, but he ain't the top of the game. There are people above him telling him what to do, where to go.
Yeah, he has investors.
Shit. So, yeah.
China's economy is today bigger than India's, Russia's, and Brazil's put together. Damn. China will still create the equivalent of 2 new Indias by 2020.
You know what should happen? We should start trafficking arms into China and start arming rebel Chinese people to start uprising against the communist government.
Start arming our Mongol listeners.
Dude, this book says the only leverage the U.S. holds over China is how much money it owes China. It says the U.S. is now a superpower that is too big to fail. It says like a bigger Goldman Sachs or Citibank. Yeah. So crazy. In 2016, then presidential nominee Trump said, "We owe them money. This gives us tremendous power." In February 2017, that debt to China was estimated 1.059 trillion.
It's not that much. Well, it's like 15% of GDP. Ain't that much.
Man.
We spending what? 13 trillion a year or some bullshit like that? Some ridiculous fucking number the government is spending. The problem is always government spending, man. I don't fucking trust it.
Check this out. In just 1 year alone, it says 2016, Chinese investors bought Starwood Hotels, incorporating the W hotel chain, Ingram Micro, a tech company, and number 62 on the Fortune 500 company. It's crazy. General Electric Appliances, combine harvester manufacturer Terex Corp went to Zoomlion for $5.4 billion. Motorola Mobility got scooped up by Lenovo by $3.1 million. Shit's wild, man. China is buying us up left and right.
China's been buying us out left and right. Most people are just not aware. They want to keep, as long as it doesn't affect their lives and they keep upgrading their phones and keep having cheap shit, they don't give a fuck. Which is a problem. Very big problem. Very big problem.
Yeah, programmed obsolescence is, it's pretty crazy. Like they're talking about how when they update the software, they make it so that eventually, unless you upgrade the hardware too, that hardware is not going to be able to handle new software updates. That's how another level of obsolescence they program.
Yeah, well, it's ridiculous. Most of the updates and most of the shit they do is just fucking crap gimmicks. I guess some of it's security wise I get, but
Once in a while, there's like UI improvements, like you can swipe up and now you got multitask stuff, but usually you can do that with like an app or something.
Yeah, there's other ways to go around it, and they send so many fucking updates. You don't really know what the fuck is going on in your phone. This is exactly why I haven't updated my phone at all. I don't want them to start putting in some shit I don't want.
Well, yeah, I mean, the iPhone, anybody that updated it, like, they specifically said they're tracking you for COVID purposes, even though we already knew they were tracking you, but now they actually went out there and blatantly said that shit.
And sometimes it's for good security reasons, like there's some security loophole or something.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
But
That's the ones that they always mention. Like if you read the log, oh, why are we giving this update?
right.
They only mention that, but it's a fucking, 10 gigabyte update. Like what else is the rest of it?
Yeah, it's a 17 megabyte update for a fucking program. That's huge. I don't know if people have ever done any fucking program. It's just fucking code. It's not. It shouldn't be that fucking. That's a lot. That's a ton. That's a ton of space. What the
It's
fuck
a
are they
few
writing?
gigabytes, not megabytes, a few gigabytes. Like a lot of the Apple updates when I update my iPad.
God, that's horrible. That's horrible. I'm never gonna buy an iPhone, even though I have an iPhone right now.
Read this book.
Boom. I'm using this as the camera phone though. And
Damn.
Yeah, their
Business
hardware
is
good.
government. That's a good point. Damn.
Yeah, corporations.
crony capitalism is this government. If government was actually a business, I think it'd be okay. But it's crony capitalism, and it's not a business. It's just draining everybody's resource. And as long as the government keeps spending more money, nothing's gonna improve.
It's worse than mafia, dude. That's
is.
just what it is. The banking cartel is way worse than the mafia. I'd rather have a drug cartel that I pay like 30% of my income tax to, and actually, get protection and all this other services and stuff.
I don't think they'll take 30% because they know you still need to survive in order to keep making that money. I think even the mafia would be like, just kick back 20%. We good.
Yeah, no, that's what Jeff was talking about. Like how a lot of the mafia there, they don't take that much.
No,
Take,
you can't
20%.
drain them completely because then it's gone. That revenue stream is gone. No, you have to just,
You have to grow your cash cows.
yeah, you have to harvest them and like keep them nice and safe and make them grow and shit so you can get more money, which
Yeah.
makes sense. Again, like I said before, if the government actually worked like a business with us and be like, all right, you're in our country, you're doing all these things, that's cool. You can have all the freedom as long as we get 20% of all the profits or whatever.
That's crazy. This guy goes, business is not taking over government, it's erased government. Didn't mean to cut you off.
It's a what government?
It has erased the government.
Yeah.
It is the government.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
It's where the lobbyists are.
Well,
It says the struggle is now between two competing business versions of the future that old style politicians did not have the energy of self-belief to compete with. Damn.
I think we need to fire everybody who's a senator, everybody who's a House of Representatives guy, everybody who's an actual politician. Fire them and rehire everybody. And I know there's like, every election cycle, and I'm like, nah, you got to bar these people from fucking joining. Like, there's a handful of people who will be like, all right, Rand Paul, you cool, bro. You can keep going. Like,
unless your last name ends in Paul, then. But yeah, there's no term limits. Like, how do we not have term limits? What the? Like that alone would help a lot, because you can only recycle so much crap. But if you have term limits, the crap would just continuously get recycled until we have a general amount of freshness.
So we either need term limits or we need a civil war or a purge.
I think both are gonna happen. All three is gonna happen.
Probably. Term limits, purge, and a civil war?
Well, Purge, they made movies about it. You know what's gonna happen.
They made a series about it. It was pretty good. I liked it. I like those kind of dystopian movies just because I'm like, people don't see that this can actually fucking happen. Like, I see there's a potential reality.
Hunger Games Society, etc.
Right? I don't think they're getting. I think the purge that's getting ready for is a global purge. Like it's pretty crazy. Like the whole Luke was talking about how Iran is one of the few countries in the world right now that doesn't have a central banking cartel. They don't.
Yeah, well, that's why they're after them so fucking heavy, because they're trying to get that shit in there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why we're constantly having that on the news and trying to start World War. Like
Maybe
Iraq
look
and all these
right
other
how
places,
many
they've actually,
United States camps everywhere around Iran.
yeah,
No
like
wonder they're like, what?
yeah, Iraq and stuff. They didn't have, Iraq didn't have a fiat currency before we invaded. They were on a standard before we invaded, but now they do have
I
they do
mean,
have
isn't
fiat currency.
any countries because the leaders aren't under some sort of dictatorship? I mean, some sort of like implementation that's put in by the central banks per se. Like they want a central
Exactly.
banking
Yeah.
system everywhere. They want to know everything that's going on
So they're
everywhere. They
like
want it to be under their control.
they're installing all these different central bank, all these same central banking, unified under the IMF in all these countries, and
Yeah.
they're just increasing that digital currency. Like they're increasing the fiat currency until it's time to have a new currency, and then that's so that they
Yeah,
can.
right. Iran and Iraq. Damn.
Well, I know Iran doesn't have one. And I know North Korea doesn't have one.
Yeah, so yeah, it's like we're like China, with all the propaganda and stuff. Like the countries that are we're hating on, um, they're probably the good guys.
Of course, it always. I mean, you get ostracized, right? Like,
I don't, I don't know about good guys, but yeah.
well, they're the last fighting chance to keep themselves, quote unquote, free from a central bank
Right.
cartel.
There's
I,
no chance. They don't have any chance. Iran doesn't have any chance against the whole world, pretty
well,
much. That's
it doesn't,
under the
but
U.S. power.
Russia is behind Iran because Russia knows that if the U.S. does take Iran, it's basically game over. It really is game over.
Then is that just illusory then, though? Like, because I feel like everyone convolutes together anyways.
It's true, but for Russian benefits, like they prefer to have. I don't know. How would I put this? Maybe it is just a illusion. Maybe it just is a sign of like, oh, there's two sides kind of
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
I mean,
There's a
it's the
lot of
same
that.
thing like the two sides here in America, right? Like, I mean, is there this illusion of divide? Like, I don't know, like, because fuck, Trump does have a Russian wife, doesn't he? So
Is she Russian?
I don't know.
She's from one of those areas though.
Ivanka, she has a gnarly, what sounds like a Russian accent for sure.
Yeah, she's definitely Russian. Yeah.
Well, I was saying Russian or Ukrainian or
Well,
Oh,
that
fair,
kind
yeah,
of
whatever.
area.
yeah.
That's what
I'm
I'm
not
saying. I'm
sure.
not sure.
It's next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, Ukraine is under Russia fucking rule.
Right there. Yeah, one of those nations. That's where she's from. She might be Russian. I don't know.
Where
Yeah, she's
is Ivanka
Ukrainian.
from? Is she from there?
Melania.
So here's our listeners here in Mongolia.
Here's our listeners in Mongolia. Let's go check out their house. Let's see if we can move over there.
I don't think we want to
Apparently
live
she's
here.
Czech.
It's like
So she's
China's like
Czech
half desert.
American.
There you go. Check. It's desert as fuck, bro. It's cold
China's
as
like
shit over there.
70% desert.
I ain't with them deserts. I'm more with the tropics.
Yeah, they got all the
Damn. Oh, Ivana? She? That's her mom. 71.
all the IT farms are on here. Slave labor camps.
Slave labor camps are on the west.
Oh, the factory workers. I don't know what you call them, but it's pretty. They have like suicide nets.
Yeah, the Foxconn.
So it's basically slave labor. I don't know. Indentured servitude.
They force high school students to go work at at factories sometimes, dude. Like,
They are forced. I don't think they force them. They're forced by circumstances, which is basically the same thing.
yeah, they're forced. They as part of their education, they have to go make some phones.
Oh, really? So that they are basically
Yeah, they're
like
they're
community
used as
service.
they're used as labor.
Holy shit! Really?
I've read some cases of this. I can't say everyone everywhere all the time, but it has
I was complaining about the community service at the garden. Shoot.
happened. Making me go to community service 2 hours a week. Fuck that. Over there, they're being forced to be on a fucking 15-hour work days. Can't even kill yourself. Can't even kill yourself, bro. You get punished for trying to kill yourself, just like in the United States. Can't
Gotta work
believe
more
that.
now.
So weird, bro. So weird. But Yeah, I think honestly, I don't think China's that green. I think this is just propaganda.
What do you mean great?
Green.
Oh,
Like they're
yeah.
that green part, that green half, I think this picture is obviously fucking Photoshop in my opinion.
No, this is geography, dude. I think it's real.
I don't think it's that green, bro.
Oh yeah, they are geoengineering. I mean, these look more like fresh plants. Like
Yeah.
especially here, these are light sparse.
I mean there's
What
there's
is?
there's tons of green and stuff over there, but they're draining their water. Like most of the population lives in the east.
Well, I
The
Yeah,
like
that's
that
vast,
one.
vast, vast majority lives in the east. So yeah, they're definitely doctoring this photo, in my opinion.
hmm.
In my
Well,
opinion.
isn't I mean, I see. I think I saw something floating around on like maybe it was enlightened Goku and like someone's. Oh, here it is. Truthers: coronavirus is the biggest scam in history of mankind, and then NASA.
Oh yeah. NASA looking around.
You guys don't think it happened? They didn't go on the moon?
I don't know, man. Space Force was funny too. He's like, "Well, you guys have Hollywood." Well,
Space
that show's fun.
Force.
Not that show, but like Steve Carell, and he was like, they were talking about actually sending people to the moon, and China's like, "Yeah, we actually have people on the moon." He's like, "We've sent people to the moon." He's like, "Yeah, we know how Hollywood works."
I
It's a joke, but
think Space Force is actually we all laughed at that shit, but then you realize, well, what if China actually does have a fucking space fleet?
yeah, or yeah. I mean, isn't there the theories of the moon being a hub? There's actually like
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, hollow. It's a fucking
It's a satellite
yeah.
that beams shit at us, that the messages come from Saturn. I remember this.
Ah, I mean, I've actually heard some theories recently. Someone was saying most religions actually praise Saturn.
Yeah, Saturnian, which is
So,
weird.
yeah, super demonic. The whole black boxing solidarity thing was like a praise to Saturn. Like I don't know, another fucking conspiracy rabbit hole thing to go down.
Black box, the whole BLM thing.
Like you remember the BLM thing? Yeah, like there was a lot of things going around about Saturn in regards to that.
Oh,
So
that's
it was
weird.
interesting shit.
Interesting. I don't know. I don't know about all that.
Damn internet. Internets. See, that's what I like to
So
see.
how do we fix
Africa's
all these
fucking
problems,
enormous.
Dane? How do we fix any of these problems?
It's a
Can
fucking,
we fix any of these problems? Should we fucking fix any of these problems? Or should we just build our own community and let the world burn itself?
what was it? But isn't that technically building a community is fixing the problem for those people that you
Want to.
can fix the problem for? You know what I mean? Like instead of thinking a grandiose thing where like I don't think we could change the whole and save the whole fucking world. It doesn't really work that way. There's too many conflicting opinions. Look at America itself, like trying to fucking the most stubborn country on the planet, and everyone seems to get has their head up their ass, and everyone has the right answer, and I'm right, you're wrong, etc. Wait, why is it marked on Balboa Park? Like, why do you have certain things in like those areas?
Oh,
San Diego,
I
Tijuana.
used to go over there a little frequently. I downloaded the
Uh,
map because my friend lived here. I would go from here to TJ a few times.
oh,
So
word.
yeah, we have to start with ourselves. We have to start with our
Hence
community.
this
There's no
podcast, right? Change yourself, change the world. Isn't that the whole purpose?
That is a whole purpose. So how do we go about doing this, man? Again, buying land, I agree. Where? California? No, absolutely not. I will not buy land in California.
I see a boxing coach who I follow, who actually coaches some of the clients or the fighters that I train. Just bought a small like 2.5 plot of land off of landequities.com in Oregon. So I don't know. There's land out there being, so I don't know how much it was purchased for.
Yeah, there's land out there. But again, I just would avoid California because you're gonna run into the same fucking
Oh
problems.
fuck yeah! I mean,
But it's mainly
it's a
like
beautiful
business tax.
place. I'm just
Is
yeah.
what?
Like you're talking about the tax reprehensibility, like businesses running away from NorCal, and Newsom being like, oh, they'll come back. California is the best place, anyways. That kind of attitude. But that more applies to like businesses, right? If you just want to buy a piece of land for your own homesteading purposes, you actually get tax forgiveness.
I'm seeing a lot of people make the move to Texas. I don't know what the hell it is about Texas, but everyone
The
wants
thing
to
is
go to
like the water thing,
fucking.
you know, water. In the Central Valley, there's more water. There's all this water rushing from this area. That's why this whole area is just farmland. This whole area,
Yeah.
and because there's so much water just coming down here, and now that there's less trees, there's gonna be less moisture being held actually, and there's gonna be like floods probably. But yeah, a
There's
lot of
gonna be
the
floods and droughts at the same fucking time somehow.
well, not over
With
last
less
year.
trees, there's less water being held down, like on the
I'll
reserve,
buy some
Oh
cheap
yeah,
ass
yeah.
land in
and
Nevada.
there's also less evaporation going on, so there's less fucking water to be in the atmosphere in general. So cutting down all those trees is gonna fuck everything up. In California, it's digging a hole and not looking back. They're just digging deeper. They're doubling down on
Go
this
in the
digging.
forests of Idaho. Let's go live in the forests.
I prefer
Idaho.
jungle.
Yeah, Idaho's really popular.
Jungle
Yeah.
because you like the heat or what? Too cold.
You can forests don't have like fruits and randomly growing everywhere. Jungles
They
are
got a
just like,
shitload of mushrooms though.
I guess, yeah. But I ain't gonna be trying to test those mushrooms. I don't got the mushroom knowledge for that.
We'll get in good contact with Paul Stamets. He'll help us out.
I mean, as far as I know, you can grow mushrooms on elephant shit too. That's where
Here
that's
we
where they were
go.
getting the
Going to
mushrooms from pine. Yeah, that's where the Thai mushrooms come from. They come from elephant dung.
I mean, you can grow them on grains too. You can grow them here in the States, so you don't really need a whole lot. I mean,
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I'm just saying.
it's not
I'm
like it's
just
illegal now, so we can talk about this.
yeah. We're in Oregon for sure.
Well, just for research purposes, anyways.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing scientific studies here.
Science.
Yeah, in the name of science. I mean,
Science.
it's God. Science is God these days.
Science is
I mean,
God.
yeah, here in the United States
Medical
or
term.
globally, apparently, science is God.
Yeah. It's
Science is above nature, guys. Didn't you know that?
I think like
Science.
wherever we go, it's like it's if you're not in the urban area, you'll be pretty much fine if you can go anywhere that has water and the basic things. But my concern is like how do
what's
you
some
survive in
spring
the
water?
city?
Huh?
Like how would you survive in the city? That's only like
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
that's,
I'm not
that
trying
might
to
be
go
like
to
an
the city.
impossible question. Like
There's too many people
How do you-
in that conjuncted in that same area. It gets too congested.
yeah, hundreds of thousands of people.
you
Yeah,
can,
I hope they all take vaccines.
but the vaccines won't kick in until like a couple years later after the 8th dose. Everybody's gonna start fucking foaming at the mouth and dying or becoming zombies.
Well, yeah, I mean, are these going to be the one, like the vaccine itself, going to be more potent than the actual virus that people are catching, right? There's like, I mean, was it a 94% chance you don't catch the virus off that? What was JP Sears saying on one of his recent videos? I don't know if he's like,
It's 94% chance of having no symptoms, although your immune system 80% chance of having no symptoms.
I'm getting the vaccine. Okay.
Yeah, pass on that. I ain't never putting that type of shit in my body again.
I'm going to get 10 servings in one.
Joe Rogan was like, I've gotten, or to Tim was like, I've gotten like 8 vaccinations at once before.
Yeah. But those are for, I wouldn't get those either, to be honest. I didn't get any vaccination to go to Thailand. There's definitely some type of shit over there.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get any either.
No.
I even drank their water and the ice cubes, even though we weren't supposed to.
Build up my immunities. Get all the kinds of bacteria and germs off of my system. We become all buddies and shit.
I feel that, but the parasitical thing, I don't know about that.
Apple cider vinegar and turmeric. Neem as well, but I ain't trying to.
I think there's a lot of herbs and stuff that you can actually like, yeah, burdock root, certain things like that. Like,
yeah. I mean, people in India live healthy lives with parasites. It's not the fact that you have parasites, it's the fact that these parasites are killing you. You're in your body, and they're constantly at war with each other. If you kind of live with the parasite and maybe the parasites even help you somehow, what the fuck? What's the problem? They're not just
I don't know. I always think of fucking Matrix where Neo had that shit going to his belly button. That's how I look at parasites these days.
They just mooch off some of your minerals and stuff. They just
Yeah.
eat some of your food, and
They pull the strings to your fucking brain though too, man.
oh yeah, I mean, some of them might actually emit hormones and things like that that affects your brain, but they're not gonna go all the way straight to your brain. I don't think they go straight to your brain. Like,
some of them might.
But if it's in your gut, I mean, if 80% of your immune system is in your gut, like actually I heard something recently, somebody told me this, I don't know the validity, but our gut is actually alien to us. I don't know, it was weird. I don't know how they got this knowledge, but
Alien to us. What do you mean?
like I need them to say it and where they found it from, but yeah, because I'm butchering it. So
it's kind of like alien in the evolutionary process or something. It's like
yeah,
it
to an
doesn't
extent.
line up.
It's a mind of its own per se.
I think the gut developed first. I think the bacteria and all the stuff that we used to be, the single-celled organisms, we kind of still are. We're just a higher evolution of single-celled organisms. But the gut probably evolved first, and then it probably evolved people.
Oh, yeah.
Well, isn't that what they call it? A second brain?
It's probably our first brain. In my opinion, it's our first brain because it was the most biological, basic being.
It's not construed. It's not fucking dealing with different logical and fucking different programs. I don't know. Can you program your? Well, I guess you program your gut based on what you're eating.
Your gut does more stuff than your. Well, I don't know about your brain does, but it does a ton of shit. Like it's extremely important. Like you can live without a brain. Like if you're brain damage or something like that, you're not thinking right. Your logic is completely off. You can still live. Your body's still there. And your gut controls all these things. Your gut controls your body. Your mind controls your reality, and your heart controls. Well, that's a whole different topic. But yeah, dude, like
on some cardio, my heart rate's been going up lately. It used to be at like 41, a resting heart rate. Now it's up to like 44, 47.
Yeah,
wow,
like
47. That's still really low.
That's still really low. That's extremely low.
That's really, that must mean you're extremely healthy or something.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
You know, average is like, I don't know about averages, but normal is like 70, 60, 70.
Really? Oh, yeah, my resting heart rate is usually in the 40s.
Yeah, if you got 60, 70,
a good measure of your heart health is like when you do like strenuous stuff, and then when you rest, how quickly
can you get it down?
Yeah.
Recover. Yeah, for sure. Well, it's easy for me because it's just controlled breath. I mean, when you learn how to use your diaphragm properly.
It takes me like a couple of minutes to go completely resting.
And stick to strictly nasal. I'm telling you, man, tape your mouth while you sleep.
My mouth doesn't open up though.
Do you ever have a dry mouth when you wake up?
Yeah, my mouth opens up.
If you have a dry mouth, that means that your mouth was open while you're asleep, whether you believe it or not.
I catch myself doing that now. Like I actually will myself to close my mouth, and I'm like, I'm being more aware. But I probably actually might just take that shit.
I will tell you now. Ever since I taped my mouth, I never have a dry mouth in the morning.
What about like if your air is dry? Because my air gets pretty dry. I don't have like a humidifier. I should turn on the humidifier.
I don't either. I mean,
well, the air is a little more dry here where I am.
There's a desert.
But like I said, I compare it. Even when I was smoking weed and I'd go to bed high and I would tape my mouth, I would still have a salivated mouth when I wake up.
I don't think weed affects salivary glands like that.
Well, I would always have cotton mouth like a motherfucker. It would make my mouth even more dry when I woke up.
Really?
Yeah.
I stopped getting cotton mouth like a long ass time ago.
Shit, you ain't getting the same level I was in.
Maybe I wasn't smoking as much. No, I'm pretty sure I was smoking joints after joints, like literal J's. But maybe I was getting cotton mouth.
Take some of these bong rips that I take.
Beside the point.
Yeah, cotton mouth was still a fucking thing.
Yeah. But all right. Damn, we've been talking for a minute.
Oh, 2 hours. Yeah, I'm about to go to bed shortly, actually.
Yeah. So how do we end this? How do we man, we fucking went through everything. We started with sober life, and we ended up with New World Order. We went to-
Well, where are we moving? What's
uh,
happening?
I'm telling you, I've actually have made I started making moves to see what I can do if I can go back to Thailand or not. It looks like I probably fucking can. I don't timeline, not anytime soon, a couple months probably, but I can start making steps to go that way. Cause man, honestly, it's so weird, but I can go over there, work minimally, open up my own school, start doing my own workshops, start doing all these things. So they don't have regulations they do here. They just don't. They're not gonna do mandatory vaccines over there. They don't have the infrastructure to do anything remotely close to that. They're not as tyrannical as fucking the United States at all. Even during a military dictatorship, they're really not as tyrannical. Because
And I don't even think it would be in the military though. It's more like peers that are fucking tyrannical of other people. You get ostracized by people because there's that debate like vaccine your kids, but I'm like, okay, well if vaccines really work, then why are you so afraid of non-vaccinated kids being around vaccinated kids? Because that makes zero sense to me.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's a whole different case, and they rarely, when they do bring that up, and the science goes against vaccinations or goes for like questioning vaccinations, they always discredit it and ignore it and whatever the fuck. So
Well,
they
the
only believe
argument
their
for
science.
that, I asked the same thing. The argument for that one is not even their own kid. Their argument is like, oh, to protect other kids, like so that all kids in general would not get sick. So quote
Yeah,
unquote.
but
So the fact that like if the fact that they would even try to make it a legality thing that you force kids to get vaccinated, that alone should say something and so should spark some sort of like, whoa, wait a second, why is this being a forced thing now? You know, like passing bills to make kids have to fucking be vaccinated.
so the pharmaceutical companies can make some money while
Of course, well I get
then
that.
preparing them so they can be sick in the future so the medical companies can make more money.
Well, again, I
And
mean
then
that's pharmaceuticals, right?
sick,
They make the vaccines, then they go ahead and make the pills. They're making the problem and the solution.
even worse than that though.
It's just virtue signaling. That's all it is. That's the
That's virtue
rationale.
signaling.
Like yeah, we know from our side like what the real drivers are, but the ignorant uh, virtue cops that actually believe in vaccines, mandatory vaccines for everyone. Oh, we need all kids to not get sick, even though their kid is fine. If you really believe in vaccinations, just do it on your kid.
Yeah,
Um,
dude.
they, they just want to virtue cop everyone.
I don't follow
Same
that.
thing, same with the mask. Like like it's not they're like they're fine. You're wearing a mask. Why do you got to worry about everyone else? But for them, oh, it's so you don't spread it to someone else who will get who has a compromised immune system, and you're protecting that person. That virtue cop mindset, idiot compassion. Um,
Honestly, if I would be okay with forced vaccinations if they also force people not to eat fast food, if they also force people to stop smoking, if they also force people to stop drinking alcohol, if they also force people to stop eating shitty sugar-based non-nutrition food. Like you force people to do exercise every other once
Right,
a
force
week or
people to go
something.
outside instead of watching 7 to 8 hours of television a day on average that most
Yeah,
Americans do or most people do.
force people
force
to use
like the
20 minutes of sunlight.
force the fluoride out of the water system.
Yeah,
Ever
let's actually
stop
start making.
adding it?
Yes,
Since there's been like 3 decades of research on it.
it's
Right.
nonsense. All this is bullshit, and all this is bullshit that you don't deal with in. Well, you might deal with it in other countries, but it doesn't really affect me as a foreigner in their country. So I might just not see the ramifications of all these things, and I might not be involved in all their problems in their government and all the things like I am here. So they might have their own flaws, but on a personal level, like I feel like I can do more over there. This is where I'm at. I feel like I can do more over there. I have no desire to actually stay in California. I keep telling my family to move. I think moving to Mexico is a horrible fucking idea. I don't think Mexico is ideal for anything because their mentality is not there yet. It's all mentalities. I think the Thai people are easy to get along with, do stuff with, and potentially even change because they're not as adamant and aggressive with all their crap. I mean, brainwashed to a point, but still curious and introspective. They're Buddhist, and just being Buddhist allows them to not want to blow everything up or not want to fight against everything, or I don't even know what that is. There's just a different culture over there. You kind of have to live it to experience, live an experience in it. But yeah,
They
I
could
forget.
still, if even though they don't have the infrastructure for it, Bill Gates could still, just be like, oh, Thailand's got to get vaccinated. We'll do it for free. And if them being Buddhist, they don't have that more of a conservative attitude to protect their rights. That's what I've noticed with the more Buddhist community, and
Right.
that they tend to be virtue cops, and especially if given the resources to do so, they'll do it.
Virtue cops?
Yeah, virtue signaling people, like, oh, everyone should get vaccinated. Oh, everyone should wear masks.
Well,
Has
that's
to be.
everywhere though.
Well, you're saying, you're protected in Thailand due to the infrastructure. You're protected against Bill Gates and the global order due to weakened infrastructure there.
Yeah, they don't have the system set up in order to implement any of that stuff, and the people will revolt. Right now, there are protests going on in Thailand.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's not like they're completely pacified.
I
No,
remember even when we were living there, there was protests like at the beginning.
oh yeah, we got there just as the shit started hitting the fan. Like we got there at a very quote unquote dangerous time, and I felt safer than me walking in fucking LA. Fuck walking around in LA. Like I've never felt danger walking around in Thailand. Sometimes in the tourist areas, the tourists get fucking drunk and sketchy. But I, I'm paranoid as fuck walking around in my neighborhood sometimes. Tons of homeless people, tons of people with shady fucking ideals. Come on, bro. I'm not trying to discriminate against everybody, but some of these motherfuckers ain't right. I'm just being real. Some of these people ain't right, and I don't trust them. I don't trust people in like survival mode mentalities, which is everybody's fucking survival mode over here, bro. Nobody's in chill mode. I like chill mode.
Man, you should OB Pacific Beach. You should see some of the environments here in San Diego. Chill mode for days.
Right now,
Yeah, you go to the beach, you go there. These they still doing their fucking thing, man. Certain areas of San Diego, they're on a different wave. It's very interesting shit.
interesting.
You have a fear side for sure, but then you go to some of these areas, this ain't even existent. It's non-existent in some areas.
Huh? Good.
They just ignore it.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's what Kevin was saying. That people just ignore it. The bar's still going on and stuff.
Yeah.
Sick. I gotta go over there visit.
San Diego.
Yeah.
Different areas, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's like way, way fucking different. Like even once there's so much fear, like it's pretty chill in some areas. Definitely. I mean, I don't mind less people being on the freeways and shit like that. I can get around a lot faster. I'm not gonna lie, like that shit doesn't bother me.
That was the best part. Like less traffic, less people on the
Oh
roads.
yeah.
It's great.
Oh, so you're saying the police don't enforce traffic laws either?
Not that, but I mean, just people are
People don't wanna
scared.
go
So
outside.
they're working from home most of the time, so they're not really going anywhere. They're not commuting as often. They're not really going places. There are people definitely doing it. I mean,
But
farmers
you're saying
market's
that
still running full hand.
people are kind of like disobeying the lockdown. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, for sure, definitely. There's people revolting. There are people going. I mean,
Well,
I have people got hit with cease and desist. But again, like I'm hearing some, like in Pennsylvania, I think that anybody that got hit with the cease and desist, like courts won't uphold them because they're not constitutional. It doesn't.
it's good. Good on them. Good on them. Yeah, Huntington Beach had a protest yesterday or something, or a Trump rally.
That's another one. The Huntington Beach is an interesting wave too.
Huntington
I
Beach.
see a lot of videos from there.
James,
Yeah,
I
they
follow
pretend like
James
nothing's
Corden,
happening too.
and yeah. So
Yeah, there's a lot of I see a lot of Huntington Beach, like the curfew revolts and protests in that regard over there.
hey man,
Yeah. I'm really hoping that we can like work together, because all these people getting together, disobeying the tyrannical statist government, it kind of gives me some hope. that
Yeah.
U.S. might make it. We might pull through, and we might, uh, transform this into a good thing, and care for one another. And
Well, I'm gonna just bring up the last topic probably, but Pennsylvania election, like electoral votes, might be thrown out. They might be extremely contested by the time it gets to January 6th. Georgia's looking similar
And they are really gonna push this to like the very end, huh?
to as far
yeah,
as possible, bro. I mean,
did you
that
see
was
the one?
go for it.
Did you see the one with the Georgia president had like he did
Press
a commercial for the Chinese government with the Chinese flag behind him. I mean, the Georgia governor.
really?
Yeah, he had like a Chinese flag like in the background. Let me had it here somewhere. One of
I
the
noticed
The Georgia governor?
this man is visiting the We Love Trump website. I didn't even know that was a thing.
it's pretty good news. It's not it's like Trump biased news, of course, but they put their sources.
They put their sources.
Everyone has a source.
It was on Mag Babe. Mag.
Magbig? You mean MAGA?
MAGA, right.
I was like, what's a Magbig, bro?
No, let me just click the link.
MAGA babes? I mean,
Hey!
Cag Babe.
I
What
mean,
does
they're
Cag
probably
Babe
tall
mean?
and blonde for
Cag,
sure.
babe.
What's Cag stand for? But yeah, you see this here? Like,
New Georgia. Georgia has a Chinese website featuring Governor Brian Kemp, who is asking for investments via veto message. Asking investments from China?
yeah. And look at the flag behind him.
Ain't is that legal?
I don't think what Biden's doing or Hunter's doing, that's definitely not legal, and there's clear evidence of that.
I mean, it's clear to. I mean,
There's
it's
a lot of
interesting.
Chinese hands in all
Man,
politics here. They had like a lot of these voting machines that were billions of dollars. They found went to a Chinese bank account through a Swiss bank account.
I didn't hear billions. I heard hundreds of millions. But yeah, tons of
It was
money
like
going to
4 billion
China.
or something, like 4 or 8 billion.
Tons of money going to China. But yeah, if those things play out, Trump somehow manages to ruin the plans of the Democratic Party, then I might have more hope for the United States. As things currently go, though, I don't see how the U.S. can get better. I don't see how California can get better. It's only going to get more expensive in California. It's only going to get more restrictive in California. I don't see when the flip happens. I know things happen in waves, but when the fuck is the end of this wave happening?
Trust the science, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, trust the science. Nicotine, Miko time, cigarettes. It's food taste expected mothers crave. Yeah, dude. Like the same people who trust science right now getting the vaccine are the same people who are getting sprayed with DDT in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, go trust your science, bro. Go trust your
Yeah,
science.
I'm not saying that we should feel totally comfortable and everything's gonna go all right. We definitely should prepare like shit's gonna hit the fan hard. But what I'm saying is, I think this is a global genocidal program, and just like this whole cigarette ad, I think it's gonna fade off. Like after a few years of after a few years of mass genocide, slow genocide, or genocide, whatever, however they're gonna do it, and because there's a global agenda for this, and it's
Oh,
real.
for sure. I mean, dude,
Target
that
is
guy
like
when Paul Check was talking to the dude Miko who created the pandemic documentary, who was the director, right? There's some movies that he's a part of on Netflix that they won't put his name on there because they don't want to, get censored or have that out there. But saying that like papers about this at the United Nations since 2010 and before, etc. So like, been talking about this agenda for quite some time.
Oh yeah, decades. Like
decades.
last century, even Alex Jones has been talking about this exact thing since from the very beginning of his career.
I mean, yeah, and then David Icke's been talking about a lot of shit for quite some time, but he loses people when he talks about reptilians.
But yeah, I'm not ready to just bounce. California is pretty cost prohibitive in terms of taxes, but yeah, I don't think there's too much of a rush right now. Even though some business has left NorCal, I'm pretty sure there's more going to leave
That
now.
has
Like
more to do
starting,
with fucking taxes for them. They're gonna get taxed a shitload.
yeah, and they are destroying, small business. It is causing more suffering and damage. Just starting
I'm
tonight,
about to have to go back into construction for a little bit, make some money.
yeah, starting tonight, there's not going to be no more restaurants, outdoor restaurants. Even.
That's wild.
That's
Because
fucking
restaurants
weird.
alone, they go into business and they don't even really make a whole big. They're like 1 or 2 months away from going out of business. Like their
Really?
overhead is, they're barely making money. Restaurants
What?
don't make money like that unless they're selling
I
alcohol.
know this dude. One of my relative friends, he makes a lot of money. He makes like 2,000 a day.
If you're selling
How
alcohol,
much
is
is
a little
he
bit
pay
different.
though?
Yeah,
You gotta think
after
about how
his
you're paying
expenses,
your
he makes 2,000 a
employees.
day almost.
What's his restaurant? I'm curious.
Like he owns a little franchise in the mall. The rent is like 12,000 per month, and then he has 2-3 workers, and he made like 4,000 in a day. No,
I don't think it's 4,000 a day every day because you have peak times, traffic times, and like some days are big, some days are not.
Yeah, dude, you
I,
can't make
I
that
highly doubt he's
every
making
day.
$2,000 a day right now.
He's getting
On
another restaurant.
profit.
Oh, not in profit. Like he makes 2,000 a day, almost in profit.
Oh, okay.
She's getting another one, like in the nearby city. This is his third one actually. But yeah,
Right
restaurants.
now?
Yeah, I don't know. I think people are supporting local restaurants quite a bit, especially because they got nothing else to do other than eat out.
That's funny. That's true. Well,
Yeah, because most people don't fucking cook their own meals. They won't cook for themselves.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's
Lazy
another way of the genocide, right? There's so many ways to genocide people. I mean, we're all dying anyways,
I low-key love not cooking for myself. I love when people feed me. It's great.
Yeah, I eat out once a week, even junk food.
There's so like the way restaurants work, what they put salt and sugar and the way they cook their shit in different oils that I'm not definitely a fan of. There's too many things that cross my mind in that aspect.
Well, I don't go to restaurants. I just want people to cook for me. That's what I'm at. I'm like, you cook for me? I love you. We good.
I mean, because I have homies that own vegan restaurants, but all they be pushing is processed vegan meats, and I'm like, yo, I can't support that. I'm sorry. It's not what I'm about, vegan or not.
The soy-based things, GMOs.
Yeah, I mean,
the going vegan and then junk food vegan diet.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
Whole food, plant-based. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. So let's start wrapping this up. What are you guys' final thoughts? I know we went through a ton of shit. Yeah, what do you guys
fight the battle on the American front, yo? Y'all need to wake the fuck up. I'm red pilling you right now. Come on, we starting the community. Holla at me.
For sure. I'm always down for a community. If people here listening to me, the 5, 10, 20 people that are listening to us.
We're starting a community. We're in Oregon. We're not going to stay in Oregon, but we'll start a community wherever.
Let's start a community. In this community,
anybody here listening to this right now already have some land and are willing to allow us to start that community on there, definitely reach out.
Well, the land has to have water and electricity because we ain't trying to start from zero.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we can, but I don't know if we have the know-how and the resources to start from zero like that.
Right. Like Storm Cloud's Gathering did down there, whatever.
But he's not in the United States. He's
I
in
know.
Republic.
Yeah, I know. The DR. But I mean, that is still a United States fucking... no?
Dominican Republic is not part of the... Yeah.
Puerto Rico is.
Puerto Rico is, yeah. Not DR.
It's a good idea, actually, like finding like local farms to volunteer at, building up that connection. That's a really good...
Fuck, man. We'll look into woofing.
Woofing?
I don't think...
Do you think they do woofing out here in the States, or is that more just an international thing?
I'm pretty sure
woofing was WWO. Yeah, most people would like do that. Every international person that was traveling, they would do a lot of woofing because
there's a lot of woofers.
Yeah, because you can
but
live on a farm and you like help out, and that's how you
one
get
of the
your
biggest
room and board.
woofing places was fucking Australia, and Australia is crazy right now, bro. I ain't fucking hell
Oh, for
no.
sure.
Nobody's
But
fucking
look, Texas, Oregon,
yeah. Woofing is
Colorado,
possible, dude. It's a good idea, actually.
whew,
Immediate availability. It wants people
Fresno,
right
huh?
now. Hey,
Shit,
this
I'm about.
actually might not be a bad idea. This whole woofing thing. Fuck it.
Yeah, well, I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner.
Yeah, I don't know why. Oh, I know why I
Forgot
don't
about
have any
woofing until
plugs.
now.
She's
Well, you
kind of
want to go
cute.
to Thailand. That's why.
Yeah, I do want to go to
Sure.
Thailand. I think that's it. I think I just like I'm convincing myself, you know.
Manifested, man.
I think you
Already in
gotta fight.
progress.
You gotta. This is the last frontier. I mean, not just like, okay, yeah, it's not gonna be too horrible, but if we can make this a good country, and it can be a role model for the rest of the
Sucks, man. I
world.
mean, what sucks is, yeah, I mean, I have family here, y'all have family here, like,
Yeah,
but even though our family doesn't want to fucking hear it, they don't believe it.
Yeah,
I
the
mean, mine
biggest,
doesn't.
my biggest
they'll
thing
turn
is
around eventually. Everyone grows and changes over time. Like
My sister is the only one in my family that is open to hearing anything I have to say. She's
people,
starting to wake up.
even if someone's not open to it now, even they're in the completely opposite boat as you right now, they'll change. And even if the ones that don't change,
they'll die.
yeah, they'll change in
Exactly
the
what
afterlife.
happens.
Or
Change or die.
and that's fine too. We're all dying, and we're all evolving and growing.
Adapt or die.
It's true.
Well, I mean, die doesn't have to be that bad sounding. I mean, die can be.
Well, death is the only inevitable, and then hence that's the issue with this is because people are having to come to grips with the fact that everyone is going to die.
There's someone dying every second now, right?
Exactly, but people don't realize that. So then when you have death numbers in your face or case numbers in your face, now the focus is death as opposed to when it wasn't and before. And that's usually ultimately what most humans are afraid of is their own
Yeah,
demise.
I think that fear is how they got us by the balls. They got hold the whole world by the balls because of the fear of death. And people are ignorant of that too. Like they don't even understand the statistic behind it, much less the epistemological um,
Because it's a lot of
metaphysics.
people that have had the near death, the NDEs, right? That usually go ahead and will tell you that it's not really what you think, and then that's the people that try to change the perspective of other people because they've been so close to death or they've died and come back from that death, and then they have a reinvigorated for life, right? They're wanting to like have some sort of gnarly change, and that's what like jump starts a lot of their helping other people change or healing or what have you.
Yeah, but I think more than just having the good ideas in your head from those people with NDEs, I think a lot of people have the wrong ideas in their head. They need to take those dumb ideas out of their head and throw it away. A
Well,
lot
it's
of you,
because it's been pushed though. Like, I mean, heaven, hell type shit. Like,
yeah,
instead of
like,
you're creating the hell
just have
right
a
now
blank
here.
mind. Like, what's wrong with I don't know?
But those are the three hardest words on the planet for somebody to admit.
Yeah, I
To
mean,
somebody to say.
I don't know
It's
about
not I love you. It's I don't know. I mean, you.
that.
We're in a fucking group full of free thinkers that are gonna question even our own thoughts
It's
or
true.
whatever's presented.
All
You
the
know,
time.
like that's different.
All the time.
We got red pilled quite a long time ago and continuously get red pilled in other ways.
Hey man, I got red pilled this year so hard with Trump. Like, goddamn, I did not expect this guy to actually do anything, and now I'm like, this motherfucker's actually doing something.
yeah. I think if all this stuff didn't happen, I wouldn't even looked in that direction.
Yeah,
Right. Even that dude I told you to follow on Twitter said that he's the only one that's actually has fought for American freedom since actual JFK.
yeah.
So
I agree with that, dude. I don't. He is the one fighting for American freedoms.
That's the same thing on Tim and Luke. It's the exact same question. He's like, Tim was asking, "What was your favorite president?" And it's like, um, Trump. And since JFK, he thinks Trump has been the best president since JFK.
they're gonna assassinate his ass.
They can't assassinate Trump because then the Trumpists would revolt. Like
I mean, he has so
Trump
many
has a
people
movement,
with a
bro.
lot of fucking
They're-
ammunition.
This is great. This is one thing where I'm like, they're not supporting a party. They're supporting a person. They are. Like the Trumpists aren't Republicans, bro. They'll tell
No, they're
Republicans go
not.
fuck themselves. Like they are. They're constantly screaming at these people. Are like, why aren't you helping Trump? No month. Like it's great. I love it. To be honest, I love that energy. Hopefully, it doesn't turn into some negative, catastrophic shit. But the energy itself is like, it's good. I like it. And this is why I sent them the message of like making it the own app and the polling thing, because I was like, well, fuck it. Let's see what happens. And trying to get in that Trump caravan, bro.
Any response?
Not yet. Just gotta keep tweeting them. Eventually, he'll respond to my tweet. We shall see. But yeah, wolfing's a interesting idea. Now that I look at it.
Yeah, we gotta fight on the last frontier. I think this is the last frontier, or
The
the
United
last
States.
the last big frontier, because there's probably going to be a lot of other smaller countries, of course, like Sweden, always going to be a neutral ground for people to
Go to Basel, Switzerland.
Yeah. Well,
Go drink some lysergic acid every day.
every day. I don't know about that one.
I'm telling you, that's gonna get me to my enlightenment that much faster. I'm just kidding.
You're
One
better
drop.
off doing the ayahuasca drip than the LSD drip.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna
you
do
can
both.
puke though every time with your eyes.
The people
I didn't puke during ayahuasca.
and the shamans don't puke anymore.
I
Like
thought that was
I heard that they actually drink a little bit. Like there are some people who constantly just they're not.
Yeah, well, they
completely
have to build it
intoxicated.
up though. Sometimes they
build up.
yeah,
The build up.
you work with the medicine so much to where like you can actually get the same high of the medicine without drinking the medicine itself. So that you just got to know how to work with it per se.
It's perfect. Yeah, you got to get to that state. Which everything goes back to enlightenment. Telling you guys.
Trying to take some liquid at L or be on ayahuasca and just like be peaking and then take some mushrooms and then take.
Sounds horrible. You take all of them in sequence.
My heart would not like me very much, but my consciousness.
You'd
would
probably
enjoy
die
it.
a couple of times.
That's cool.
You might come back.
That's cool.
might.
I'm gonna have some downloads to bring back for you. If not, I
Well, you're gonna be
ascended.
completely
time.
downloaded.
Gaia is gonna download me to her fucking ether. It's cool.
I mean, yeah, you might just put your hardware into overdrive and just burn it out.
And I'll be the martyr in this. It's totally cool. No big deal.
Martyr? What'd he do? Took all of it. Took all of what? All of it.
Just it, bro.
All of it. God damn.
Dun.
He took the whole Jeffrey. You guys remember the Jeffrey?
Oh, I've been playing on that carpet fucking wall for a while now.
I think y'all may know the Jeffrey. The Jeffrey's from, was it Get Him to the Greek or something?
Yeah.
It's like this joint with like everything, basically.
What is it?
P. Diddy gives fucking Russell Brand a fucking joint with everything. He calls it a Jeffrey, and this man ends up on the wall, and he's like rubbing his face against the fucking
Get him to the Greek
wall and shit. It's hilarious, dude. Get him to the Greek, yeah.
Yeah, Russell Brand. That's the first time I met Russell Brand, but yeah, that Jeffrey shit stuck with me.
Dude, you gotta even pull up the Jeffrey scene. I'm sure it's on YouTube. It's gotta be, man. You gotta watch
Jeffrey
that shit real
is
fast.
great. If you guys don't know it, go check out Get Him to the Greek Jeffrey scene.
Oh shit, yeah, I forgot we're still live. Yes, Jeffrey scene, the top one, bro. That was it.
Let's do it. Oh yeah. Then he has to get a. Oh, yeah, just watch it. You might as well. All right. A little present for you guys listening. Oh, what is it?
Illegal.
America.
Oh wait, okay.
What's that? Mate. Here you go, mate. I'll take these off. Yeah, I'll give you that, mate.
Oh, do you have it on 1.5?
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
What is this?
Oh, fair. I do that.
Bit of this, bit of that. Yeah.
Bit of this, bit of that.
Well, look at this. How the snow wasn't always so pretty, was it, eh? I'm showing him that for, Dad. Why'd you carry that photograph? Remember we used to box?
Little bit of this, little bit of that.
Around. Do you remember?
It's probably why I shouldn't smoke joints from strangers, though.
What's in this? My heart's starting to beat really fast. Weed, mostly. Sergio gave it to me. It's got a bit of opium in it. Heroin.
Weed, opium, heroin.
Methadone, Subutex, morphine, some other stuff that's unidentifiable, and I think a little bit of angel dust, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, crystal PCP,
It's like drug Neapolitan.
a drug Neapolitan.
Hold it, jeez.
Oh, there's phone.
Why the fuck is it called a Jeffrey? Because who could be scared of a Jeffrey?
Yeah. Nice bloke from down the road, isn't he? What's wrong with you? I'm Jeffrey. I've just moved in. Yes, I'm Jeffrey. Jeffrey. My wife has got medical names. Having a heart attack. Having a heart attack.
You're not having an heart
Taking
attack.
all the bad drugs though.
I think you might be having a heart attack.
Why? Don't mind him up.
I'm having a heart attack. He is. He's having a heart attack. I'm telling you. Listen to your dad. He's right.
He's having a heart attack.
He looks like he's having a heart attack, doesn't he? Alan, come in, mate. Just get away from you. He's an idiot. Just take deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. That's what you need to do. Come here. We're together, mate, all right? I shouldn't have given you the Jeffrey. That was a mistake. So sorry, but relax now. It's over. Everything's beautiful. The world is beautiful. Everything's cool. Look around us. Look at that. Look at this.
Sounds like me on DMT.
Simple beauty of this
The world is beautiful.
Lovely. See, we're at one with that. So lovely. So nice. Beautiful. So beautiful and lovely and wonderful and pure. And... I'm sorry.
He snorted a
I
bug.
shouldn't have done that. I'm on the Jeffrey too. Just breathe deeply.
I'm on the Jeffrey too.
Okay. Ah, that won't last. No. That's the joy of the Jeffrey, you see. It goes away, but then
It comes back.
it comes back. It doesn't do that. It's gonna be okay. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. Put your hand in. Just touch the fairy wall. Stay with me. Be calm. Be calm. Just stroke the fairy.
Oh man,
With the fairy wall.
I'm not down for a Jeffrey.
Stop bullying my mate.
Well, we almost smoked opium in Laos.
Yeah.
We should have.
I would.
I know you regretted that.
We should have.
I was down, but you didn't want to, so I said, fuck it.
Yeah.
Why did they? Why did they go to those poppy fields? You know, when we attacked Iraq and we burned the poppy fields. I wonder why they burned them. Why don't they just use them?
We
Sell
didn't
them?
burn the poppy fields, bro.
No, there's no way. They're using that shit for pharmaceuticals.
Yeah. That's where you get all your oxy from.
That's
bro.
heroin, bro.
Yeah. We didn't bomb them. We harvested them. We made them more efficient.
So they're protecting the poppy seeds for anybody trying to steal
Oh,
them.
right, yeah. They're protecting some of them. I remember some scenes of them burning them too.
I mean, yeah, but that's propaganda.
Yeah, I mean, they got to film that shit to make it look like they're doing something right.
The drug war. And then never before seen exports of fucking heroin coming out of fucking, what's it called? Or that
Right, and
poppy.
now the biggest thing to worry about is fentanyl. That shit is killing motherfuckers
That
left
shit
and right.
nuts, bro. Can't be trusting nothing with white powder no more. Yeah, don't try fentanyl, people. It's all bad. But yeah, I think it's time to wrap this up. What was our final? I think those were our final thoughts when we started watching fucking the Jeffrey scene. That scene gets more intense, dude. Like that's just the beginning of that scene. That guy goes on a fucking trip. He has to get adrenaline because he kind of dies at one point. So it gets crazy. Don't ever try to smoke a Jeffrey. It's all the bad drugs all in one. And weed. And weed. So yeah, no Jeffries for anybody. So I guess that's how we end it, or what? No Jeffries for anybody? Don't try
Except for me, I'll take all the Jeffries.
Yeah, keep exploring the meaning of life.
That'll be my way of going out.
Safer ways than Jeffries.
If I'm going out, I'm going out with 10 Jeffries. I'm like gonna be like,
you won't make it to the 10th.
No, because I'm gonna get one of those things to hold 10 at one. And I'm just gonna take one big puff.
You probably fade out of it pretty fucking quickly. I mean, not the worst way to go.
I mean, yeah. And better than ODing on shooting heroin in your veins. I mean, I'll take a Jeffrey.
I don't know. It might be this. I don't know if there's.
What was the single most amazing, like, transcendent thought that you've had? What was what was the thought that was really worth the experience? Like out of all the different psychedelic trips that you've
Thought?
had,
For me,
Yeah, go for it, Corey.
single experience or thought, whatever.
oh, I don't know.
Single
You can't
moment where
be.
you're just like, all right, this is worth it just for this. This is what I came
Well,
to.
ayahuasca kind of set me straight in a lot of ways. Because it told me to kind of, I mean, for instance, connecting with people. I thought I was connected with people. I wasn't really connected with anybody. I still feel like I'm not connected too much with people. But it was more on surface level and going more into depth now. Also was the reason I even started doing the healing that I do in training was because of that as well. That was my lane. She kind of told me that.
But did you have like any like, because usually we do these drugs to like get some sort of like experience or thought, understanding, and then we take that understanding and use that in our regular life. Was there any like special understanding that you got? Like,
Well, for me, every time I do psychedelics, I mean, even DMT, I always come out of it, life is beautiful. It's all beautiful. It's ugly as fuck at the beginning and it ends up beautiful.
so you always want, what was one thing that you wanted to take into your normal daily life, that realization then that life is beautiful and so I should always try to live my normal life as realizing that?
Well, the lessons come after the trip, so I don't think you can go.
Nah,
You
because,
can
because
go with the
yeah, you kind of
intentions.
get taken back to, I mean, there's times where I get taken back and reminders of that same thing left and right. I don't know.
I mean, there's plenty of reflective moments within. I mean, maybe I haven't been done, hero dose in a while, but even when I did almost a hero dose, there was some reflective moments where I realized that for me personally, it was like when I was just looking at the grass at a park, and I was just realizing that anything you can do, anything that you put your mind to. I can do anything that if I just focus and put all my energy in there, I can do it, and that's all I have to do. Just focus on the one thing that I want. And
Hmm.
I mean,
My,
I got that from DMT too, like that revelation.
but everyone
Well,
like attunes to a different thing. For me personally, that was, I mean, or not, depending on personality. It's interesting how yeah, Corey
I
first
think it's
thought
the
of that,
great.
life is beautiful, which is also something I realized too, but I didn't particularly attach to that one. But someone else would.
well, I
Yeah.
just said it's all beautiful. Everything is beautiful. Like
Yeah.
everything I saw was beautiful, whether or not, because most of the time, most judgments are to whatever is preconceived, you know what I mean, in your mind, how you see the world, but then realizing it's all just beauty as what it is.
Yeah, life is no. There's these universal things that are true. Life is beautiful. Like there's no other side to that. Life, even the ugly stuff is beautiful because there's like a intricate uh, aesthetics to it. Like even the ugliest things, it arose because of it's aligned to the, like even a zit
Yeah,
is beautiful because the zit came for that exact for some beautiful purpose.
hence why right now it's important to realize death is beautiful, but we're all glorifying and saying everyone's dying and it's miserable and you're the reason people die, but that's making somebody out to be evil and something in essence is beauty, right? That's the one guarantee we're all going to
Yeah, there's
eventually
a whole
do.
book that can be written on why is death beautiful. Like a lot of the Alan Watts talks about that, and he
Oh
has
yeah, and Don
pretty good
Miguel's
paragraph.
like Toltec of Life and Death is a really good depiction of that as well.
Well, the major lesson I ever got was well, the two things that the DMT entities told me, the gods told me. I call them gods. Um, First one was, this is life, enjoy it, because at that point in time during the trip is when I was going through a million lives at the same time. Like every femtosecond I was one person and I was switching and switching and switching, and every frame it was just like and every one of those was me being a different person. So
Yeah,
I
he
went,
wanted out of it though. I'm gonna tell you
I
right now, he wanted
oh
out. He
fuck
tried
yeah,
to give you the yeah, he wanted out of that
I
trip. He's like,
came
yo, bro, help me.
I came back fucking terrified. I don't even know how I came back, to be honest, dude. I was just fucking
He's like, Corey, where are you? I was sitting right in front of him.
I came back gasping for air because it shot me through a light. I entered in the darkness and I came out the light.
I
Literally
was his
exactly
reminder.
what
Like he
happened.
grabbed my arm and he had a reminder that he was still here because he's like grabbing my arm just to remind him that it
I
was a
needed I
journey.
needed someone to ground me because I was like I can't fucking stay in this realm. This is fucking crazy. Like reality was going like this to me. This is how fucking reality was going on. I was like, what the fuck? So
What a 28th birthday celebration, right?
29, but
Oh,
yeah, what
29, sorry.
it's all good. But yeah,
Oh, that was, damn, that was 2019?
yeah,
18, right?
18. Yeah, I'm 31 now. That was 2 years
Oh,
ago.
shit, I forget. I keep thinking I'm 30 right now.
Yesterday I was like, how old am I? I'm 30, right? I'm
Fucking
31.
2020.
I was born in 89. Holy shit.
2020 is just like pause time for us. We're all just like waiting for it to be over.
Oh, yeah, I know. This birthday was weird.
Yeah, so that was the first message. The second message is it's your choice. Exactly what you were talking about, Ahmed. It's literally your choice. Whatever you want, whatever it is that you truly do fucking want, you're gonna go for it. It literally is your choice. And that's when I saw myself shooting through a nucleotide door into the light and came out going, what the fuck? Like that, yeah.
Craziest part is I had just come back from Peru too, so like I was still on like a gnarly wave of like just still having ayahuasca running through me like crazy. So I don't even remember what I was saying then. Definitely different than what I'm saying now, because I haven't done psychedelics in quite some time. A heavy dose, at least. I've only been microdosing.
Maybe it's about time.
You've never done like 3 grams, 4 grams?
Of what do you mean? Yeah, I
Psychedelic?
have, but I'm saying in the past 2 years,
Oh,
since 2018, I've not done any heavy psychedelics. Any heroic doses of DMT, any heroic doses of psilocybin,
there was a study
any
that's showing
LSD.
that people should do it, at least like, once a year.
3 grams?
A hero dose. Not a hero dose, but like, 3 to 5 grams.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, dude, I fucking, there was an information overload at 2 grams for me, bro. I was at information overload. I was in
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, same here. 1 to 2 grams just makes it like, that's quite a reflective experience for me.
Yeah. I can't even imagine what 3 grams will take me to. Because I remember at one point in time, I was like, fuck, I can't even go to sleep. Because if I close my eyes, it just gets even crazier.
Yeah. I remember that one time where we did that and we were just on Instagram chatting. Dude, I can't sleep.
Oh my God, dude.
Keep seeing stuff.
Yeah, and then you're not even doing Terrence McKenna's 5 grams in a dark room.
Yeah. Terrence McKenna was a fucking
Alone, too. What a motherfucking crazy motherfucker.
That's cool. Yeah, I gotta try
hey
that.
man, what the fuck? What if we start flying? If we actually do that and then we start flying and shit, levitating, because we're like, man, fuck reality. Maybe. Hey, I'm all about them chants.
We gotta schedule some time. Have Kevin be our
Our babysitter,
babysitter.
trip sitter. I don't know if Kevin would be ideal for. Actually, he would be pretty good. He's good at
Yeah,
conversation.
he's great, dude.
He'll get
I've
deep.
I've passed out drunk, dead,
Well,
and he's
a little
like
bit
picked me
different.
up and took me all the way home and stuff.
A little
I'm
bit
about to
different.
go, though, guys. I got to
For
be up
sure,
at 4 a.m., so I'm going to bed.
No worries. No, yeah, you gotta go to bed.
Yeah, I'll take care.
Sure, man. Have a good one.
Good to see you.
Peace. But yeah, no, like that's one lesson that I've learned. Another lesson that you learn lessons every time. You really, really do.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like, what, because your mind tends to gravitate towards something. Like, you had that experience thrown at you, like, and you're just like, oh, okay, that's what that means. But then most of us, we obsess over something, over a thought, and then when we get put in that elevated state, we just end up thinking about that kind of thought because that's what's most important for us, to think about that thing.
Right. I think that realization is just perfect as well because once you realize this is where your thought patterns are going to, you can actually start interfering with these thought patterns. You can start going, why am I so obsessed about this? And you can start breaking that shit down out of the trip. During the trip, it's kind of hard to get some kind of, the trip shows you the pain that you might be causing yourself. And then you're like, whoa, why am I doing this to myself? So yeah, I think the other one was the 2 grams of mushrooms taught me that where I am right now is where I'm supposed to be. Like everything is aligned for this moment to happen. Because at that time, everything was going woo woo, and I was seeing realms of orange and red and realms of this or that, and like I might have explained this before, but at the end of that trip, like when I had that realization, it was like 6 hours after. Oh my God, 6 hours after, I was on my couch, bro, and it seemed like I remember texting Jashawn, dude, I'm tripping hard, bro. How do you, yeah, like, how do you do this? And he was like, man, just calm down. They used to call them the little children, little fairy children. You just have to set your intentions and tell them what you want. And I told him, I want you to heal me. Just heal me. And as soon as my intentions were set towards that, the chaos in my head kind of stopped. Again, it was at
Yeah,
the
it's
end of the
amazing
trip,
how powerful affirmations are in that state.
right. So those negative thoughts kind of just
That's the
stopped.
thing I love about that. That's why I'll have like a intention thing.
Yeah,
Like, this is what I want to affirm. This is what I want to do.
right.
This is what I want to investigate.
Yeah,
So I'll just be like sit and just like meditations. Just
it's amazing.
they're so much more effective.
Right. And at that time, I remember
Like mandalas just pop up and stuff.
I saw morphing mandalas of diamond crystalline structures coming in and out of each other. And I was like,
Yeah, it's sick.
and that I saw that when I was thinking about the Dhyana Linga. This is another reason why I do want to go to India and go explore all these things. Now, I thought of the Dhyana Linga, and then instantly I was transported to a room of white. Like, I don't know if
Yeah, but the
anybody has
thing
ever
is
gone to
though,
this.
I don't think we need to go to India and all that stuff.
No, the
Like
Dhyana Linga
through
is
through
there.
mushroom technology, like the etheric universe is right here. Like every on the other spiritual plane, everything is in this one space, and we
Mhm.
can like the dimension that we're in, this physical realm, is like it's time and space, but the other layers of the dimension within this one is there's no time and space.
Right,
Everything's just in one area.
right,
So if you just tune into that area, there's
right.
no such thing as the inconvenience of time and space. You don't have to bother with traveling around. You can
True.
get access to everything with um, just because you want it. You just instantly reach for it and it's there.
1,000,000%. Even Sadhguru said this thing, the same exact thing. Like the Dhyana is here, but it's really everywhere. And but just me imagining that.
Dude,
I
yeah, that would be pretty awesome if we did shrooms and went into the Dialinga.
yeah, dude, imagine that. Imagine
We
that.
got the physical, dimensional, geometric uh, alignment as well as the
We'll probably see all kinds of deities just walking around in the ashram and be like, ah, damn.
well, there's other geometric things like that here in the U.S. too. In Sedona, there's this geodome. It's like $200 for like a few hour session. I'm sure people do that all the time there. Take shrooms and go in there. Sedona, I mean, come on. But yeah, that's definitely something we got to plan. It's right here.
Interesting. Yeah, that sounds interesting. But yeah. Well, that was one thing. So, as the trip was ending, uh, I kind of felt like everything was where it's supposed to be, and I'm where I'm supposed to be, and everything. That I had that feeling like this this is what meant for me. The whole universe was built around so I can be here chilling, watching TV. And then as soon as this thought happened, all the other chaos that was happening, all the visuals ended. It kind of just went like boom, like my reality solidified. And once that reality solidified, tears started coming out my eyes. Like I've cried during meditation. I've had tears coming out my eyes, but many times it's there's a lot of forceful movements for me to get those tears to come out, like some kind of despair, some kind of anger, rage, or something like that. There was a lot more energy going into that. Nah, this time it was just pure, like tears just coming out, and I was smiling and so happy, so happy. I want to go take a piss. Tears started coming out my eyes. I saw the fucking the towel waving. Tears started coming out my eyes. I was just like, wow, this is powerful. And I drank some water. I saw it like when I was thanking the water, because I always thank my water. Every time I take a sip, every time I have something food, I actually do think and am grateful for it. And I was holding this water, and as I was holding it, I was seeing it into like a fractal. I was seeing the fractal that the water was, just more like, I was so intense. And then I ate a fruit. I, During the trip, there was a slice of pizza. I couldn't eat the pizza. I was like, this feels dead. I can't eat this. I don't have the appetite. I don't want this. Like my body was just like, ah. So, but after the trip, I ate an apricot or something. It was godly. It was the most godly thing I have ever eaten in my life, and it was amazing. And I was just so happy. And then I thought about the Danalinga, boom, instantly transported to the Danalinga realm of white and crystalline mandalas morphing in and out of each other. And I was like, whoa, this is completely different from my first realm of like red, orange, dark, heavy fog kind of thing that I had in the beginning of the trip. And I might have gone through all my chakras. And I literally might have gone through all my chakras there. It was great. This is great. So those that's the major experiences I've had with psychedelics, or with anything like that. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm just getting ideas here, building a list. There's like a long list of things, you know. That darkroom thing is really interesting. That's probably a template to do like a million different things. Because once you have that dark room, your visualization just becomes like perfect.
I
You know? And that's actually like the whole. When you get samadhi, um, I'm pretty sure samadhi actually releases massive amounts of DMT, and you're able to do this. That's why you're able to do that without the need for any sort of drug. Because
right.
when you have samadhi, um, the the master, he was talking about how in a samadhi state, you enter samadhi, you stay in there, and then as you disperse the samadhi state, then you get your while you're in samadhi, your brain is releasing massive amounts of DMT. So, but while you're in samadhi, you can't really do conscious stuff. You're
Right.
just you're just generating the DMT.
Right.
So what you do is you dispel the samadhi, and you going back into your you get away from that intention of staying in samadhi,
Come back
and
to
then
this
you can
realm.
enjoy the DMT realm.
Right.
And what he was talking about is basically you can whatever you visualize, it has this 3D shape in front of you. Your your visualization is just perfect, and it's a great place to do scientific research, do investigation, and all that stuff. And it's much more stable. You don't get that hilarity that you get with mushrooms.
Mm,
Actually, you do get the blissfulness, so you do get the hilarity,
yeah.
but it's not some sort of uncontrolled hilarity like with shrooms. Like
Right.
you can smile so much that it hurts.
This my Yeah, bro. I want to be high for life, on life, through life. We're all made through a bunch of chemicals. I want the good ones to come through. That's there's a lot of power in those, and not just because of the chemical dependency or whatever. No, there's just so much power in being able to produce those chemicals going into that state of being. There's so much power in that, and this what kind of edged me to go back into spirituality, because before that I wasn't meditating. I wasn't doing before the DMT trip. I wasn't meditating. I wasn't doing much of anything on my spiritual journey. I was really focused on business and trying to get this here and that. I don't know. I think I was still half-assing that, but still, like, there was a lot of stress going on in my head, a lot of problems, a lot of fucking voices, a lot of things going on in my head. And DMT
Yeah.
basically told me, you need to calm the fuck down, bro. This is life. Enjoy it. And when they said this is life, it was chaos. It was complete and utter fucking chaos. And so when they told me this is life, I was like, fuck, I'm fighting the chaos that is life when I should be embracing it and joining it and participating in it and vibing it and being in part of this chaos. Because
Yeah.
stagnation, having nothing is stagnation to me is hell. Not being able to do anything, not being able to explore, not being able to, that's hell. That I've had dreams where I've been in like a stasis field, a bubble, when I was stuck there and I couldn't move and I can do nothing, and then everyone else couldn't move and couldn't do anything. And I've seen this and I felt this, and it felt like so much despair. It felt really horrible. So yeah, I think I learned to embrace the chaos that is life. But yeah, samadhi, is this something I'm genuinely interested, because I know that if I'm able to bring these chemicals out of my body, out of my own body, like by myself, then that's level one. But that can open so many doors, quite literally.
Yeah, I mean, and there's like 8 levels of samadhi. So the first level of samadhi is like a lot of people don't even make it to the second level because that level is just they'll just be enjoying that level for years, and then yeah, and then the second level, a lot more people don't make it to the third level because the second level is even more bliss. Because the first level you still have that discursive thought, the side thoughts, and the second level you have the just pure utter bliss. Like that, those side thoughts just kind of went away, and you'll actually kind of like you'll stay in the state, and then when you're done with it, when your mind, body, and all the healing and everything has happened, then you'll just naturally come out of that state. It's less intentional, but and then
Interesting.
the third one, it's like even less. Like you don't even have the mental joy anymore. It's just pure body bliss.
Mm,
And then that one, even less people are able to go to the the fourth one, which is the most pure of the form samadhis. But that the fourth one is just pure, perfect concentration, undisturbed by body, mind, anything. It's just totally um, centered, like one pointed. So it's not disturbed by any sensation of the body. And then so that's really, really useful if you're like for like pure discovery or things that. But yeah, that's like the most pure form of samadhi, like pure, perfect focus samadhi. And people don't usually get to that because the previous ones are so addictive with the the body and the mind is just in so much enjoyment that it's hard to leave that one to focus on the one pointedness part and get that perfect. And then the other four ones, those are altered states of like bending your consciousness, bending the peripheries of your consciousness in a way that they're like altered states. Like you've the first one, you feel like you're one with everything. You literally feel like you're the whole planet, the whole universe, because you basically get out of this body. And then the next one is like even your sense of perception shifts beyond perception itself and is like not perception, but it's also not perception. So you start you start like but being able to stretch your consciousness in these ways is what helps you to attain enlightenment, because enlightenment is totally beyond consciousness and totally beyond body, mind, even beyond perception. There's no way to like even that's why it's so hard to explain enlightenment. People just say, oh, enlightenment, because it's a non-dual thing that's not explainable in a certain with words. um,
yeah, that's the biggest, not the biggest impediment, but words are words don't even do any words don't do our experiences justice, let alone enlightenment and samadhi and all these kinds of things. They're just, it's like trying to explain the ocean with a cup of water or something like that.
Yeah, the good thing about words is that they at least you can at least make stepping stones towards that
Right,
ocean. And
right.
that's all they are. They're great stepping stones. They're great boats. Um,
It's just hilarious because even talking about these experiences and these things and these states, I feel myself and my body chemistry start changing. Like right now, like my eyes started getting a little more high, and I was like, what the hell? What's going on? I'm feeling really chill right now. What's good with this? And yeah, once just going tapping into the intention and going into those, thinking about it, talking about it, it brings you to those realms slightly, like very, 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 very slightly. But I can see why the Buddha would just say something and everybody else like, like it makes sense to me. Like I get how that can happen.
oh
I
yeah, Buddha was like a masterful hypnotist, and all the sages and stuff. When you're enlightened and stuff, is just you can you understand like how your mind works, how other people's minds work. Because just in order to achieve the first samadhi, you have to really understand how your mind works. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to let go of all these things and then be able to. But but understanding that doesn't mean all psychologists have samadhi. Definitely not. It's just
Definitely not.
the getting to the first samadhi requires you to have some measure of understanding of your mind, and with that, eventually, you also, especially as you get back to that foundation of your mind, you'll be able to more, um, with observing ego, with a little bit of distance, you're able to understand things even better than you would if you were just totally immersed in it too much.
Yeah. A little bit of distance. Distance is always pretty good. Distance is always pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you this article, dude, of like the meditation one. This is really, it's a couple, it's actually two articles, but yeah, it's two-part article. So it talks about all these paranormal experiences. This is what like originally like got me obsessed with Buddhism and stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, I keep saying this, but well, I keep referencing Sadhguru, but originally Sadhguru started doing yoga because this old guy was able to climb out of a well faster than him. And he was like, how do you do that? And then you're like, come do yoga. And he was like, all right. Like, so doing the right things for the wrong reasons can still have very beautiful consequences.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And I want superpowers. Those are my wrong reasons, quote unquote. But let's see if it leads to some beautiful like consequences. I don't want superpowers like that, but being Superman would be nice. Or Goku, I'm cool with that. On a random note, um, I don't know if you've ever seen that time I got reincarnated as a slime.
Oh yeah, I saw a few episodes.
Okay, so it's a great. I love that anime, but the whole point is that while he was dying, he was having these thoughts and these ideas and these intentions, and those were setting him up for the next realm where he was going to take place.
Yeah.
So I told Kevin, I think yesterday, 2 days ago, I was like, I know what my final thought is before I'm gonna die. I am Goku. Let's see if I end up as Goku somewhere.
You
Yeah,
gotta really mean it. But yeah, that's how self-hypnosis works. I do that every night, pretty
Right.
much, and not always the best way, but I at least do a little bit, but the amount of belief that you have in that, it's gonna basically, that thought's gonna loop throughout your whole sleep, and then it's gonna transform your body, transform your mind and your subconscious. And then when you wake up, the effect of it is basically like, you know, the same as having repeated that whole time. So that's why it's so effective to do it right before you sleep.
Interesting. So it's like a mantra.
Yeah. So right before you sleep or right before you die. Like
Both.
whatever thing you
Same
say,
thing.
it'll have some pretty strong impact.
It'll reverberate throughout the universe.
Well, within your universe, yeah.
Yeah, well, the
But yeah,
Ricoverse.
that recovers. And
Yeah, the Ricoverse from my point of view.
you can certain all your karmic seeds and stuff might just come towards that thought and stuff.
That's actually a good thing to tell our listeners, whoever's listening. If you're not a meditator or anything like that, just before you go to sleep, as you're falling asleep, have those thoughts, have those intentions, have that mantra. I think my mantra is gonna be, I am healthy, wealthy, and loved. And to me, those three things can build the most beautiful life you can have here on earth. Health, without health, you can't do anything. Nothing really fucking matters. Without wealth, it's really hard to move things around. It's really hard to help anybody without wealth. You have to have wealth. Words can do it, but wealth accelerates everything at this point in time. And love, well, yeah, that's just love. Of course you want love. Of course you want to feel love, and you want to give love, and you want to be more loving. And yeah, I think I do want to be more loving because I am a cold son of a bitch sometimes, for the most part. But meditation has taught me to be more loving. Like weed has taught me to be more empathetic, but meditation has really taught me to be more loving. Yeah, which is good. It's good. It's a good advice to anybody who's listening. Set your intentions before you go to bed, so you wake up with that mantra going on all night for you. And when you say it, mean it. Don't just say words just to say words. Mean them. Mean them. Oh no. You're bringing me back to the mundane, bro.
Yeah, no, and also like physical too. If you have any physical issues, I
Right.
use it actually more physical.
Mm.
I've had some miraculous things happen. I did like I had a when I was young, when I was a kid, I had a dental issue. Like I think I wasn't brushing my teeth or something. My gums were inflamed, and my wisdom tooth was hurting a lot. And I started, just doing meditation. Not started. I was doing meditation for an hour, and then I did some Tai Chi practices, get my Qigong energy circulating, imagining the energy as white light. So all this whole hypnosis thing you're doing, affirmation, in conjunction with all the other um,
Mm. Practices.
practices, is it's a synergistic. So and then afterwards, at the end of the night, I would go to sleep with this energy, imagining this blissful white light, and I would affirm that my teeth is completely healed, and I feel great, and I would just remember, and I fell asleep. Next morning, it's gone,
Whoa. Well,
totally gone. It was hurting, like it was throbbing. The nerve there, was inflamed, so it was throbbing. So yeah, the body was able to defeat the bacterial thing through just energy and me um,
placebo effect.
uh, yeah, I don't like
Intentional
the
placebo.
placebo because what I did literally is I took away all the thoughts that were preventing my immune system from doing it,
Right.
and my immune system was able to do its job, which is
Right.
clean up trash.
Yeah.
If you focus on pain, if you focus on
Yeah.
negative thoughts, then you're gonna just manifest more of it.
Yeah.
But it is necessary in a lot of ways, because how are you going to know to not focus on pain if you didn't have pain? And you do, so pain is important to, but you shouldn't focus on it. You should just, as quickly as possible, get to a solution. And
Yeah. That's true. That's a good way to do it, man. That's a good way to do it. I'm gonna start doing that more often too. I'm gonna start doing it from now on. Yeah, it's been an interesting week, to be honest, and it's only gonna get better. For me, I think it's only gonna get better, regardless of this whole political situation that's going on right now. Like, yeah,
yeah, no,
man.
I think it's people are waking up to a lot more of the negative. Whenever I see people posting negative stuff, I try to see the silver lining that, the more people wake up to the negative things and start questioning the government, see how authoritarian they are and stuff, the more people will take all the right actions. And yeah, the people that trust the government and trust Biden, oh God, those
I
are tough people. The people spouting the positive things, and especially when they're wrong about the positive things and just totally delusional, that's worrisome. But
that is worrisome. We shall pray for the souls.
yeah,
Hopefully, they don't spend too much time in hell.
I'm not praying for their souls.
You gotta be benevolent, bro. You gotta remember these people are only in pain, and this is why they're attaching themselves to these other kinds of things.
Yeah.
Or you
No,
can just
they're not even using their brains. That's the thing.
not like. I think I had this kind of fucked up thought. It was like, well, they'll do better next life.
Well, who's to say
Hopefully.
that they're gonna, because we're all, where we go one, we go all right. That saying, we're all in this together, and yeah, hopefully they're on the wrong side of the fence.
Hopefully. Yeah, man. Contested election. This is crazy, bro. Who would have thought, man, 2020 turned out to be a crazy fucking year.
Yeah.
Crazy year. All right, man. So how should we end this? We've been at this for like almost 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I gotta keep going to get some dinner, but yeah, it's a good talk. I think that we went through everything pretty much, all the current updates, and um, yeah, I think there's a lot of hope for us. You know, it's gonna be all right. We're looks like we're taking it pretty easy. Let's all get prepared though, just in, you know, not just in case. I mean, there's gonna be some things to prepare for, and we should all prepare for a little, just like anyone should, even if there wasn't anything wrong. Um, yeah, I think things are gonna be all right, and let's keep questioning the things and researching and spreading the news to
Keep spreading truth, even if it pisses everybody off. Yeah. And with that, we say peace. Thank you for listening and have a good day, night, life, wherever you are. Have a good one.